You are listening to Football Live, powered by NairaBet, with Barry Swain.
Greetings everyone, welcome on board for 4 hours of Football Live. Two monster matches coming your way this afternoon in the Premier League. We also dip into La Liga in Spain, which gets underway this weekend. Our whistle-stop tour of Europe's finest leagues takes us into the Netherlands, Portugal, Austria, France and Belgium. There is no show in the world that covers football quite like Football Live, exclusive to Brilla FM. It's great to have you back with us this afternoon. It's great to be back this weekend on the opening weekend of the football season. Now, yesterday, Dean Kilford was here. He went around the grounds on the opening day in the Premier League. Today, our Premier League experience is restricted to two big matches in London. Chelsea against Liverpool from Stamford Bridge is later on, and we'll be hooking up with Billy Andrews very soon for a chat on that one. Can't wait for that. But first of all, a London derby. Now, yesterday we had Arsenal against Nottingham Forest to get things going at lunchtime. That was delayed by half an hour because of automated ticketing problems. You can only get into the ground now, Arsenal, if you've got the automated ticketing app on your phone. And of course, that caused all sorts of problems at the Emirates Stadium yesterday. Now today, it's a different problem at Brentford, and the delay was only 7 or 8 minutes. But the delay was because there's no water inside the G-Tech Community Stadium. However, the referee has made the decision that he's gone ahead and started the match slightly later on. There was supposed to be just over half an hour gone. There's not. There's just coming up to 25 minutes gone. We've already had a goal. There's already been something for Kendall Rowan to talk about. Kendall's there at the G-Tech Community Stadium this afternoon. Good afternoon, Kendall. Tell us about that opening goal.
Hello, Barry. Yes, so what an eventful kickoff it has been this afternoon at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Obviously, we had the about 8-minute delay due to the sanitation issue with water not coming into the stadium, so that did delay the kickoff a little bit. However, it has been very, very end-to-end here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. A fantastic debut for James Maddison, who on the receiving end of a foul got a free kick, swung it onto the head of Romero, and Romero headed it into the back of the net. Now, unfortunately, Romero has actually gone off injured. He sustained an injury earlier in the game, I think with a clash with Mbeumo, so he has gone off injured, unfortunately, after the goal. It remains to be seen how Spurs go forward after this, and it has been a really, really good game so far. We will have to see what happens for the rest of the game, but at the moment there is around 25 minutes gone and it is 1-0 to Tottenham.
Thank you very much, Kendall Rowan there in the London derby between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur. Romero with the header. He was subsequently taken off and Davison Sanchez came on, and that's the opening goal. So far so good for Tottenham Hotspur, or is it?
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Because just as Kendall handed back, Brentford have found their way back into the game and an equaliser from the penalty spot. We'll go back to Kendall in just a few moments' time to hear about that goal. So a couple of goals in the opening 25 minutes in the game at the G-Tech, and it's Brentford 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Let's head back, shall we, to Kendall Rowan, who can tell us all about that Brentford equaliser from the penalty spot.
Yes, it was a fantastic goal from Brian Mbeumo, the new main man after Ivan Toney will not be available for selection for a good few months after his ban. It was really, really well put. The new Tottenham goalkeeper making his debut today, unfortunately went to the wrong side of the goal. It was a very, very lengthy VAR review, so for Mbeumo to put that away after the delay was really, really fantastic. So we are 26 minutes gone at the G-Tech Community Stadium this afternoon, and it is Brentford 1, Tottenham 1.
Thank you very much for that, Rowan. We'll be back with Rowan throughout the course of the afternoon. There is actually, I'm sure Rowan will tell us, Kendall Rowan will tell us more about that in just a second. But I can tell you that two members of the technical staff on the touchline, Ryan Mason being one of them, I think one of the assistant managers of Brentford, have both been given their marching orders for something that's happened on the touchline. Hopefully Kendall can throw a little bit of light on that in a few moments' time when we're back at the the G-Tech Community Centre, Community Stadium, Community Centre. Right, let's turn our attentions now to some other games that we're covering. First of all, in the Eredivisie, we're hoping that the Eredivisie has set its standards this afternoon with the early kick-off. NAC Nijmegen 3, Excelsior 4 was a final score. Oscar Udenes scoring in the 10th minute of stoppage time to win it for Excelsior at the Goffer Stadium. Now, the Champions League football is around the corner for Eredivisie champions Feyenoord, a club with rich tradition, start the defence of their title today in the Netherlands. Their opponents are Fortuna Sittard, who have lost their last 5 away matches, all by 2 or more goals. Into the early stages of the second half very soon. I think the second half is just about to get underway. So let's go for a half-time roundup with our reporter at the De Coupe, Matt Key.
Well, good afternoon, Barry. Good afternoon, Football Live listeners. It's good to be back, isn't it, for this new season? Well, it's the start of Feyenoord's title defence today, and as you mentioned, Fortuna with an awful away record, but the scriptwriters haven't paid attention clearly, because at half-time, there's Feyenoord, no goals, but Feyenoord down to 10 men. It looked like a pretty harsh one in truth. It was Bart Newcop, the right back. Ball was played down the line, and Remy Vita for Fortuna, a lovely little dummy as he looked to run onto the ball. He was caught. Initially, the referee gave a yellow card, but he was sent to the monitor, and we normally know what that means, and the red card was brandished. So not going the way of Feyenoord so far, but the good news for them is it's still 0-0, and it's been a pretty even encounter despite that red card. So second half's just got underway here, and it's still Feyenoord 0, Fortuna 0.
Now, PSV and Ajax both won comfortably at home yesterday on the opening day of the season, setting the precedent for Feyenoord, who so far have not delivered. And if they are to pick up all 3 points on the opening day, they're going to have to do it with a man down to 10 men. We'll be back with Matthew Key throughout the afternoon. Let's head back, shall we, to the G-Tech Community Stadium. It's Brentford 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. And Kendall, I think you can tell us about exactly what happened in the decision-making of the referee to brandish some cards at both of the sets of managers.
Yes, the referee today is very, very hot with the yellow cards. Vicario, the new Spurs goalkeeper, already had one pre-penalty, and now both Ryan Mason, obviously a coach at Tottenham, and Klaus Norgard, another coach at Brentford, have both had yellow cards. For I think it was a little bit of frisk on the touchline, a little bit of argy-bargy shouting amongst each other, but they have spoken it out, and they've both been sent back to the dugouts to sit down after the yellow cards. So it's going to be an eventful game, this one. I'm really enjoying it so far, but it is 30 minutes just gone on the clock, and it is Brentford 1, Tottenham 1.
Thanks, Kendall. I've got the game on in the studio here, and I can tell you it's a real cracker. It's great to see Premier League football back in front of our very eyes here, and it's not letting us down, is it? Let's head back to our games that we are covering in the various countries and the various leagues that are getting underway this weekend. We were at the game in the Netherlands a few moments ago, then off to London again, and now we're heading to France. And Nantes stayed up by just 1 point last season and start the season as one of the relegation favourites. Toulouse are today's visitors, themselves relegated 2 years back. They bounced back last summer. Jamie McKee can bring us bang up to date with the first half action from the Stade de la Beaujour.
Thank you very much, Barry, and I am excited to be here for the 23-24 season, and it's been a decent first half for Nantes and a decent first half of the Ligue 1 season. It's been pretty much 50-50, I would say. Toulouse have had the lion's share of possession, but Nantes have had more clear-cut chances, and they've got the only goal so far. It was Mustafa Mohamed, the Egyptian, who scored from the penalty spot 13 minutes in. He put his penalty right in the top right-hand corner, and Guillaume Restes, the goalkeeper for Toulouse, had absolutely no chance. Christian Sassores for Toulouse, who gave away the penalty, zigzagged his way into the penalty box and drilled a low shot towards the left post, but goalkeeper Albon Lafont for Nantes pulled off an absolutely superb stop. Apart from that, there's been not much going on. Toulouse are having the lion's share of possession, but Nantes do look like they are going to hold on to this lead. 39 minutes gone here in France. It's 1-0 Nantes.
Thank you very much for that, Jamie. So we've got 2 goals in our Premier League game already. Brentford 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. It's Nantes 1, Toulouse 0. Nantes leading there thanks to the Egyptian Mustafa Mohamed after a first half in which they have, as you just heard there, been on top against Toulouse. And obviously we've got Feyenoord nil at half-time. Down to 10 men Feyenoord, the champions in the Netherlands. Let's head into one of the games that hasn't quite kicked off yet, and it's in the Belgian league. One game last night actually actually Friday night it was. Friday night first of all. We'll just quickly cover the Friday night roundup because in Belgium, Antwerp beat Kortrijk 6-0 in the opener in the Belgian Pro League. Vincent Janssen with a hat-trick for an Antwerp side that included the Nigerian Chidera Ejuki. In fact, staying with Friday night, Erling Haaland, 2 goals for him to put Manchester City in the driving seat in the curtain raiser. They beat Burnley 3-1. Anas Zarouri, the Moroccan, sent off late on in that game for Burnley. The opening day in France too, Nice denied victory on the 94th minute by Lille, and Bafode Diakati, French defender Loic Bardet, was sent off on match day 1 in Spain on Friday as Sevilla warmed up for their Super Cup showdown with Manchester City this week with a home loss against Valencia. That coming through an 88th minute winner through Javi Guerrera. Guinea international defender Mukhtar Dekabi had fired Valencia ahead before the Moroccan Youssef En Nesri had equalised for Sevilla. So a busy Friday night, including, as I said there, Antwerp 6, Kortrijk 0. We're going to stay with the Belgian League now because one of our featured games this afternoon is open against Club Brugge. It's at the Kerweg Stadion, and I'm delighted to welcome Cam Wilson making his debut on Football Live this afternoon, who can bring us all the team news ahead of kick-off in that game. Good afternoon, Cam.
Good afternoon, Barry. Yeah, it's currently 7th versus 8th in the league. UPenn are starting with a 5-3-2 with Selena in goal from Chelsea on loan. It's got the usual suspects at the back, and Isaac Nuhu, the Ghanaian, is starting up front. And for Club Brugge, it's a 4-2-3-1 with trusty, reliable Simon Mignolet in goal. They were able to keep a hold of Hans van Aken, who starts in the 10 role. And Roman Yarmachuk, who they got from Benfica last season, is just on the bench, hoping to improve from disastrous form last season.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that update from the game in Belgium this afternoon. Cam Wilson there at the Kerweg Stadion, open against Club Brugge. Club Brugge looking to get off to a winning start. Of course, they made it into the Champions League last season and the knockout stages as well under Scott Parker in his short and not quite so successful stint as manager in Brugge. So, last night, German Super Cup, Harry Kane debut. But it didn't really go his way, did it? And Danny Olmo stood ahead of everyone and picked up all the headlines with a hat-trick. Bayern 3-0 defeat at home at the Allianz Arena. But I cut short there because I can tell you there has been another goal in our Premier League big game.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Well, I can tell you just a couple of minutes ago, Visa went flying into the box on the left-hand side of the shot that was saved at the near post. It was actually pushed against him by the defender, Davinson Sanchez, and went out for a corner. But he's just gone and made it 2-1 to Brentford, attacking down the left-hand side. It was pulled back and Visa was there to just slide the ball, and it's a bit of a calamity in the Spurs defence. We'll hear all about it. It might well go down as an own goal, but we'll go to Kendall Rowan in a couple of minutes' time, who can tell us all about the goal in the game between Brentford and Tottenham. In fact, we'll go to Kendall now. Kendall, Tottenham were ahead, and now it's Brentford that are ahead. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Davinson Sanchez obviously came on for the injured Christian Romero. He made a really, really silly foul on the wing, was given a yellow card for it, and from that attack, Brentford just absolutely bombed down the wing, crossed to Vissa, and he has absolutely smashed it below the arms of new goalkeeper Vicario. Vicario's not having a great afternoon here. He is coming out of his box quite a lot. He's using his feet quite a lot, and this is not looking at the moment as a great debut for him, unfortunately. So we are 36 minutes gone at the GTEC Community Stadium this afternoon. It is Brentford 2, Tottenham 1.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that update. So 3 goals in the opening 37 minutes or so in the game at the GTEC Community Stadium. It's Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Remember, Tottenham took the lead in that game last season through, what was his name again? That's it, Harry Kane. And ended up losing 3-1. 3 second-half goals from Brentford, who were very good that day. I remember covering that game. And they were excellent. Won 3-1. And it's, again, Spurs that have struck first, but Brentford have struck back, and they've struck back with aplomb with 2 good goals to make it Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Now, we've got a little bit of breaking news for you in the world of football, and we're going to hook up with one of our Italian football experts and senior reporter here on Football Live, Andrew Brolacore. He's going to be covering later on this afternoon the game between Rio Ave and Chaves in the Estadio dos Arcos in the Portuguese top flight, the Premiera over in Portugal. But we're going to park that one to one side. We will be going to him for some team news on that game very briefly, very shortly. But Andrew, we've just heard the news that Roberto Mancini has resigned as the coach of the Italian national football team. The Italian 58 took charge of the team when they failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup and led them to victory at Euro 2020, beating England on penalties in the final at Wembley. The team went on a world record 37 game unbeaten run, but then failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup. And the Italian football authorities have come out already this afternoon and said that Mancini's successor will be named in the next few days. That little paragraph that I've read you there, which is more or less a statement from the Italian authorities, tells you that he's had some good times and he's had some bad times, but he's done okay in that 5 years. It's not a bad return, is it, even though he's had his downs?
No, and I think most Italian international football fans would take, winning a major tournament and maybe not qualifying for the next one. So as you say, it's definitely been a case of sweet and sour with Mancini, and we would always forgive him not qualifying for the Qatar World Cup, because we think back to that glorious campaign in the Euros, culminating in that wonderful penalty win against England. But this is a real shock. But in the current transfer and managerial environment, we seem to be getting shock news every other day, but this one really seems to have come from nowhere.
And the underlining cause is probably what most people listening in Nigeria at the moment will be saying, well, hold on, what's he done that for? It's a funny time to do it, isn't it? That's not as if they've just gone and lost a couple of games in an international break. There's an international break coming up in, 2 or 3 weeks' time. But the reasoning behind it, it appears, is that he could be in line to take over the national team in Saudi Arabia. Is that what you've heard?
Well, there is one decent source, shall we say, who seems to be of that belief. But yeah, as you say, the timing is really strange. It was only Wednesday when he was given almost the power to shape the future of Italian football from the grassroots upwards, and it was some level of control that he'd wanted for some time. And in the 5 years that he's been in the post, he now was given that power, so he could shape the way that all coaching was run from schoolboy ages upwards, and also the women's game as well. And only a few days after that, he decided that he doesn't want to stay in the job. So it feels like something big has happened or is about to happen, and it could be that Mancini decides to take one of the jobs in the Saudi Pro League, or even the Saudi national team. Certainly the word on Twitter is that he's in line to take the Saudi national team job, but we don't have any confirmation at all. But Italians worldwide will be thinking, well, what does this mean for the Italian national team? And the way that Italian football has really fallen off a cliff since that golden night at Wembley just a couple of years ago has been really quite shocking. And so if you look at 2 big name Italian managers who are out of a job, we've got Luciano Spalletti, who won the Scudetto with Napoli last season, and of course someone who had a fairly successful period as Italian manager is Antonio Conte. So we could see the return of the Count, or we could see Luciano Spalletti decide to pile more pressure on his own shoulders. But it's fairly uncertain. But I think of all those bits of information we're looking for, it could be that we find out where Mancini is going first.
Andrew, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you very shortly. We'll let you get into position, ready for the game that kicks off at around about 40 minutes' time, that you will be covering in the Portuguese League. Rio Ave taking on Chaves. One of our 8 games that we'll be covering right here exclusively on Football Live this afternoon, exclusively on Bria FM, of course. Let's go back to the Brentford GTEC Community Stadium, where, Kendall, there's been another yellow card. It's a feisty old affair, isn't it, taking place there in West London?
Absolutely, Barry. It is getting a very, very feisty on the pitch today. I mean, it has been from minute one of kickoff, really. Spurs now on 3 yellow cards. As I mentioned earlier, Vicario, the goalkeeper, Davinson Sanchez, and now James and Maddison for failing to control his temper. He has gone into the book as well. Spurs are pressing very intently, very, very well, but Brentford are defending even better. They're such a physical side. They're really, really strong in their interceptions and in their tackles, and they're looking really, really good today. But at the moment, we are 43 minutes gone in this game at the GTEC Community Stadium this afternoon, and it is Brentford 2, Tottenham 1.
Just touching on that breaking news that we just brought to you, the Italian manager, or was the Italian manager, Roberto Mancini, has resigned, has quit as the Italian manager. And the general feeling is he's going to become the Saudi Arabian national team manager. We'll keep a close eye on that one on Brewer FM throughout the afternoon. Let's go back to Matt Key now. And Matt is watching the game between Feyenoord and Fortuna Sittard. A goalless first half with a red card. Tell us about a very close call to a goal in the early stages of the second half, Matt.
Yeah, well, we've had a really exciting first 15 minutes of the second half, and it's 10-man Feyenoord that have just gone closest. It was a corner that was whipped in, and it was headed by Quentin Timber onto the post. And if you're thinking, oh, I recognise that name, that's because he's twin brother of Jurian, who, of course, made his Arsenal debut yesterday. Obviously had to go off injured, but Timber coming close to breaking the deadlock for 10-man Feyenoord. This one really heating up nicely. Still Feyenoord 0, Fortuna Sittard 0 after the hour.
Thank you very much for that, Matt. Just quickly recap 0-0 in that game at Fortuna Sittard away at Feyenoord. Brentford 2, Tottenham 1, and Nantes 1. Toulouse 0 in the 3 games that have already kicked off. We'll be handing back now to the Briller FM studios for our hourly commercial break and social media update. And we're delighted to bring in for the first time this season the capable hands of Tony. Good afternoon, Tony.
This is a commercial break exclusive to Nigeria and Africa alone. But don't worry, Football Live will be back very, very shortly.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila. B Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
This is Football Live.
And you could not have scripted this.
It's crazy, absolutely insane.
Oh my dearie me. I don't want to laugh or cry.
It's a show that's packed to the brim.
Oh my word, what is going on here? An unbelievable day here on Football Live.
Means there's action everywhere you look.
Great entertainment.
That's fantastic. Wow, just wow.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Powered by NairaBet. With Barry Swain.
Yes, welcome back. Thank you very much, Tony. And, well, since we handed back to Tony, all the action has been unfolding before our very eyes. And I can tell you, once again, there's been another goal in our featured game in the Premier League.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Last time we were at the GTEC Community Stadium, it was 2-1 to Brentford. And I can tell you, with 11 minutes of stoppage time being played in the end of the first half, which of course already kicked off because of a water problem at the GTEC Community Stadium, I can tell you that Tottenham Hotspur have equalised. And to tell us all about that goal, here's Kendall Rowan.
Yes, it was a brilliantly taken goal from Emerson Royal. Probably an unexpected goal scorer of today, but it was really good play from Tottenham Hotspur. Kulusevski on the wing, linking up with Davinson Sanchez, linking up with James Maddison, who gave the pass and then was actually fouled straight afterwards. But it just landed very sweetly for Emerson Royal, and he just put it into the back of the net. So it was really good finish from him. Oliver Skip, though, Tottenham are collecting goals and yellow cards today. Oliver Skip has also received a yellow card today, so that's 4 for Spurs already just in the first half. But we are now 51 minutes of the first half, obviously with the added time, and it is Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
Kendall, we've had such a busy afternoon and we haven't already had a chat on the topic that I was aiming to talk to you about at the top of the show, which is, of course, Harry Kane. The feeling generally among Spurs fans is that, they didn't want him to go, but they fully understand his reasoning, and he's gone off and he's now with Bayern Munich. And what's the general feeling? Do you think Spurs, now that's out of the way, that monkey's off their back, so to speak, they can just get on with life and start life without Harry Kane? How's it feeling around the Tottenham camp?
Yeah, absolutely. That was my thoughts as well. I thought, they've got a new manager, a very, very different character, very, very different style of play to the managers that they've had in the past. Obviously, we've had serial winners in Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, and neither of them have worked out at the club. We also had Nuno before that as well. So, it's just a very different, he's very calm. Ange Postecoglou is just really calm, really blunt with how he speaks. And he's, in general, very, very much liked by the Tottenham fans already. And it's just the start of the season. So I think it was, an elephant in the room. Harry Kane hanging around. The saga has been going on since last summer, if we're honest, with the Man City saga. So it probably is a good thing for them to head into a new era, new direction, with a new manager, with obviously their brand new state-of-the-art stadium. And I think it'll be possibly, it sounds mad because Harry Kane's such a hard person to replace. He's a fantastic striker, fantastic player. His output has been exceptional for Spurs, but it'll just be nice for them to go into a new era without this saga hanging around them, and to have their new debutants, their new players and their new manager to go into a new era. So I think in the long run it might work out better for Spurs.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rowan. We'll be back to you, I'm sure, very shortly for a half-time report. Although, don't be surprised if there's more goals in this game, because it has been an absolutely exhilarating game. We'll be back to Rowan very shortly. Let's quickly cross now to our game in the Netherlands. And Matthew Key, down to 10 men final. So far they haven't broken down for Tunis Sittard. We heard last time we were with you that they hit the post. Penalty decision that nearly went in their favour. It ended up being a free kick. What came of that free kick in the end?
Yeah, well, a couple of controversial minutes here. Obviously, Feyenoord already had one decision go against them. They thought they had one go for them when Duarte for Fortuna brought down Jimenez. Initially, it was in the box and was given, or initially it looked like it was in the box and given as a penalty. The referee produced a yellow card, then listened to VAR. It was decided that he was outside the box. Obviously, remember that on the line equals in the box, but in the case, not quite according to the VAR. So free kick given, and the free kick was hit into the wall. A Fortuna player blocked it, went down injured. The referee let him have attention, and Arne Slot wasn't happy with that at all. Maybe wasn't happy with the awarding of the free kick in the first place. Maybe he felt it should have been a red card, but frustration's boiled over and he's been given a yellow card for his protest. We've got 20 to go in this one. Feyenoord really on top now, despite having the man disadvantage. But 71 gone, it's still Feyenoord 0, Fortuna Sittard 0.
Thank you very much, Matt. Let's head now to our featured game in France, which is being watched at the it's not against Toulouse. Jamie McKeague is watching at the Stade de la Beauchore. Half-time is fast approaching, Jamie. Still 1-0 to Nantes?
Yeah, half-time here at
Nantes. It's been a very 50-50 first half. It's one of those ones where once one team attacks, the other goes, well, let me have a go, and they attack. Toulouse have had more of the ball, but are unable to create many serious opportunities. They lost Branko van der Boomen to Ajax in the summer, and maybe he would have been the difference maker in a game like this. But Toulouse won't go into half-time too disheartened. Colombian Christian Cáceres, who actually gave away the penalty for Nantes, has been at the heart of everything for Toulouse and has been very impressive in the opening 45 minutes. But as has attacking midfielder Florent Mollet, or Mollet, I could be butchering that, for Nantes. I'm sure both players will be key in the second half. Referee Willy Delajode has been very busy. There's been files flying in everywhere, along with 3 bookings, all for Nantes. Maybe we'll see a couple of players hit the showers early in the second half. It's been a very close encounter. I'm sure exactly the same thing is going to happen in the second half. Second half is about 3 or 4 minutes away, and I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Thank you very much for that, Jamie. Well, it should be an interesting game, that, between two sides that will certainly look to get off to a better start than last season. Certainly they both know all about the trials and tribulations of staying in Ligue 1 in France. Not a decent sized club that shouldn't really be battling away for survival. And the Yeomans a couple of years ago they were pushing for a place in Europe. Last year was a disaster of season, and they're looking to bounce back right now, and they are leading at half-time by 1-0. We'll be back with Jamie in the second half. Let's go back to Kendall Rowan. The half-time whistle has blown in the game between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Plenty of goals, plenty of excitement. This has been a good game, hasn't it, Kendall Rowan?
Yeah, what a fantastic game. I now cannot wait for the second half just to see what happens. Halftime ends in 2-2 for both teams. The stats have been so equal. Tottenham a little bit better in possession, but Brentford's defending has been absolutely fantastic. Just before halftime, and Bremo had a great chance as well, but unfortunately could not put a goal away on the end of that chance. But what a fantastic half. It's been very eventful, and I cannot wait for the next 45 plus maybe 10 with the new rules. But at half-time, it is Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
We'll be back with Kendall, of course, for the updates in the second half. I can tell you there has been a goal in the game that we're covering in Belgium. It hasn't taken very long to arrive either.
The goals, powered by NairoBet.
Yes, it's gone to Club Brugge. They lead at Eupen by 1-0. Just 6 minutes gone in their game in the Pro League in Belgium, and Club Brugge are ahead. We'll be across to Cam Wilson very soon to hear about that goal. Let's pop it into Portugal now. We're doing a whistle-stop tour of Europe this afternoon, with the Italian League not starting till next week, and the Bundesliga not starting till next week. Of course, we will have them all covered next week once they get started. So we're doing a little bit of a whistle-stop tour and some of the other big leagues around Europe. And today we're going into Portugal. Real Ave against Chaves at the Estadio dos Arcos. Our very own Andrew Bonacore, who we heard from a few minutes ago, talking about the Italian change of manager with Roberto Mancini quitting as the Italian manager. Parking that to one side, he can bring us some team news. Real Ave against Chaves. Good afternoon again to Andrew.
Good afternoon again. Chaves have two Nigerian midfielders in their ranks. Rangwo Obiora, who has played across Europe, including one season at Inter Milan, and Kelechi Nwakali, a member of that Nigerian under-17 team who were crowned world champions in 2015. And he starts his first season in the Portuguese top flight and starts the game today for Chaves at the heart of their midfield, hoping to feed his front two of Paulo Victor and Hernandez, while Obiora doesn't make the squad today. He's up against it though, because Chaves have not won at the Estadio dos Arcos in over 20 years. Both these sides have had poor pre-seasons. Rio Ave, in fact, have already been knocked out of the League Cup, so it should be a fairly even game, but you would fancy Rio Ave have the historic advantage over Chaves. But Nokali will be looking to make a decent contribution in a defensive midfield role, and also, as I say, to try and feed the forward. So we're looking forward to an entertaining start to the Liga Portugal on day one.
Thank you very much for that, Andrew. And yes, from the depths of Portugal, we will now land very abruptly in Belgium for news of an early goal in the match between Eupen and Club Brugge. And to tell us all about it, here's Cam Wilson.
Yes, it was a penalty. It was given away by Boris Lampert, the Eupen centre-half. Stupid foul. He didn't need to put his foot out like that. So Van Aken, he steps up, smashes it into the left corner with his left foot. Great goal. Great penalty. 1-0 Club Brugge, 8 minutes in.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So an early goal for Cam on his debut here on Football Live this afternoon. Always good when our new reporters turn up, and they're quickly brought in at the deep end with a goal in their first ever feature game, and Cam's got exactly that this afternoon in that match at the Coegstadion.
You are listening to Football Live, live and exclusive on Brila FM.
So this afternoon we've got another game coming your way in the Premier League, and of course it's Chelsea against Liverpool. You Chelsea fans out there, or Liverpool fans out there, looking forward to this one, I'm sure, the opening day of the season. Of course, it's a fixture that's drawn up a few 0-0 draws in the past. I was at Wembley for 2 cup finals of the season before last when they both ended 0-0, both went to extra time, both went to penalties. They were high drama. They were actually very good 0-0 draws, the FA Cup and League Cup finals of 21-22 season. which were won on penalties on both occasions by Liverpool. Let's head to Stamford Bridge now, shall we, and catch up with our reporter this afternoon, our senior reporter on Football Live, Billy Andrews, who is going to be covering the game at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Liverpool. Billy, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Barry. Good afternoon, everyone.
Looking forward to this one. Although it's 0-0 and 0-0 and 0-0-0. I think the last, I don't know. You probably have the stats. I haven't got them here. 4 or 5 meetings that have been 0-0. But somehow you get the feeling that Chelsea have had a lot of changes in the last year. They're going to come out with no European football this year, and hopefully, there's a lot of concentration on bettering what they did last season, which was pretty awful. And Liverpool haven't had a great defensive record in pre-season. I somehow can't see this one ending in a 0-0 draw. What's your feelings?
Well, no, you said that one, Barry. I think you've probably jinxed us all, and it'll be the most tame 0-0 that I've ever watched. But there's a lot of change that's gone on, particularly at Chelsea. Of course, Mauricio Pochettino has come in. He's replaced Graham Potter and Frank Lampard, who was caretaker. But there's injuries at Chelsea still. Wesley Fofana, Benoit Badiashile, and most notably Christopher Nkunku, that man that they brought in. They agreed the deal in January. They brought him in this summer from RB Leipzig. He was supposed to be the catalyst for the new era under Mauricio Pochettino, and now he's out for 4 to 5 months with a knee injury. He's got a big decision, Pochettino, about which way he goes with this team, because he can play the players that are established at Chelsea. He can play the likes of Thiago Silva, the Raheem Sterlings of the world, and he could potentially still, barring some sort of miracle, bring in Romelu Lukaku from the cold. But he's got the likes of Nicholas Jackson that can create stuff. He's an exciting young player. Lewis Hall, Levi Colwill, both exciting youngsters that can play in defence. And as for Liverpool, it's all about this new look, modern, if you will, midfield. Obviously, Fabinho and Jordan Henderson have both left for pastures new in Saudi Arabia, but they've brought in Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai. I've coined this the Moises Caicedo derby. Both teams want Caicedo. Both teams have bid for Romeo Lavia from Southampton as well. So which way is this going to go? Who's going to get Lavia? Who's going to get Caicedo? He's already said he'd prefer to join Chelsea over Liverpool, but have they got enough money left in that bank to pay another 100+ million?
That's the big question, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to this one, and as I say, I wouldn't be surprised at a draw, but I just don't see it being 0-0. I think last season it was a tame 0-0, the last one, wasn't it? I think it was a horrible game. But, first game of the season, there is some optimism. I mean, Chelsea have got to be realistic, but last time they had a campaign where they didn't have European competition, and that was probably, about 7 or 8 years ago, they went on and won the league. That's probably not going to happen this year, but they are kind of putting all their eggs in one basket, and you would fancy them to be chasing what is a top 5 place, which is probably going to be Champions League. Champions League as of next season, they're going to let the top 2 countries, I think it is, with the best record in the competition have an extra place. Well, in the law of averages, 5 of the 6 years gone by, that would have been an English team. So everyone's kind of banking on that 5th place finish being good enough to take them into the Champions League. And that's got to be within the reach of Chelsea. It's certainly within the reach of Liverpool. But both these clubs want Champions League football next season. That's got to be their number one priority this season, isn't it?
It does. It has to be. It has to be the non-negotiable at Chelsea if they are to continue to be the team that they have been since 2003. I think there's a lot of teams that want Champions League as well. Obviously, Manchester United, Arsenal, Newcastle have this new ambition, having reached the Champions League last season. There was some talk pre-season about Aston Villa, but on the basis of the display against Newcastle yesterday, they look a little bit off the top clubs at the moment, and they have to push. I don't think a Carabao Cup would cut it for Mauricio Pochettino this season. And you like your stats about draws. They've drawn the last 6 meetings, including those 2 cup finals in 2022. So looking forward to another draw today.
Well, we never know, do we, Billy? I'm looking forward to what should be a really good game. Really looking forward to seeing how these signings gel, particularly Liverpool as well. We'll be joining you for some team news in what, probably around about 15-20 minutes, Billy. Thank you very much, Billy. Billy Andrews at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea against Liverpool. Our second feature game right here on Football Live this afternoon, exclusive to Bria FM. Whilst we're sticking with Chelsea, let's hear from Mauricio Pochettino on taking the job as Chelsea manager.
I was 1 year waiting. First of all, thank you for your welcome. Hope that you will be nice with me because it's not compulsory this press conference, and I can stand up and go away. Not because it's true, it's not compulsory. True or not? True. Yeah. True. And not because we are nice people, yes. And we give the first press conference. No, I am so proud to be here. Thank you for your welcome. I think it's a great opportunity for me to be back in the Premier League, for me the best league in the world. And of course, I think Chelsea convinced me to be here. Of course, Chelsea is a great team, and you know very well. In the last 10, 12 years, I think men and women, the greatest history in the last 10, 12, 15 years, won many trophies. And I think it's a great team. I am so proud to be here. I am very proud about my past. But now I need to look forward. I need to be, concentrate in what the people expect from me in this football club. And I hope to build a very good relationship with, of course, with everyone.
That was Mauricio Pochettino taking charge of Chelsea competitively for the first time this afternoon. That's the 4 o'clock kickoff between Chelsea and Liverpool. 4:30, in fact, I beg your pardon. 4:30 this afternoon, so just over an hour. So around about 10-15 minutes time, the team news will start filtering out at Stamford Bridge, and we'll bring it to you exclusively here on Football Live on Bria FM with Billy Andrews. As soon as it breaks, we'll be bringing that team news to you. Chelsea against Liverpool this afternoon. Really looking forward to that one. We'll start the build-up right now. In the meantime, let's head back to the Eredivisie. Feyenoord are the champions, down to 10 men this afternoon. Big chance in this game against Fortuna Sittard. Matt Key.
Yes, well, it's been all Feyenoord this second half, really, but Fortuna have sprung the counter. Well, I say they've sprung the counter-attack. They've been gifted the chance from Feyenoord in what can only be described as a comedy of errors. It was Gertruda, the centre-back from Feyenoord, one of their big players in their title success last year, plays a blind back pass, not looking where his keeper is. And in the panic, Bijlow slipped over. He's out of his goal, and you've got Tijani Noslin for Fortuna running onto it, and you think he's got the simplest of tasks of just putting it into an empty net, but it's not that simple. And he looked like he slipped himself as he shot the ball, and it trickled past the keeper. It was agonising. Was it going to go in? Was it going to be stopped? And out of nowhere comes David Hanko to clear it off the line, and he gets a hit on the post as he clears it, just to compound the misery for all involved. But somehow no goal, somehow still 0-0. We've got 5 minutes left in this one. Can Feyenoord get that title defence off to a good start? It would be a really important goal if they could get it, even at this early stage of the season. 85 minutes gone, and it's still Feyenoord 0, Fortuna Sittard 0.
Thank you very much, Matt. We will, of course, be across there if there are any late goals in that game. It's the only game that the feature games have not drawn up a goal yet, but there is a red card, and we've had a little bit of controversy. It's not exactly been nothing to talk about for Matt Key there. There's been plenty to talk about in the early stages for Cameron, who is watching the game between Eupen and Brugge. Cam Wilson on his debut this afternoon. He brought us a goal after just 6 minutes, but I can tell you what.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Club Brugge are now 2-0 up, and we can cross now to the match between Eupen and Club Brugge. Cam Wilson at the Kirchstadion. It's a second goal for Club Brugge.
Oh, and what a goal it is. It's so poor from Eupen. They're playing out from the back. It's too lethargic. They get stripped in the midfield, and then Van Aken just releases Zinkernagel, who blasts it into the top right corner. What a hit it was. Keeper had no chance. It's 2-0, 18 minutes in.
Thank you very much for that, Cam Wilson. Open 0, Club Brugge 2. Great start there for Club Brugge, one of the big sides, of course, in the Belgium Pro League. The second half has started. It's underway at the GTEC Community Stadium. We'll be across to hear how it's unfolding with Kendall Rowan. It's 2-2 at half-time between Brentford and Tottenham. If you're just joining us, really fantastic game that has been so far. Plenty of excitement, plenty of drama. Christian Romero up from the back. It was judged onside just by VAR to make it 1-0, but he went off immediately with an injury, replaced by Davinson Sanchez, who ended up playing at the back. It was Emerson Royal that made it 2-2 in the 4th minute of stoppage time, but in between, Bumo and Visa turning things around for Brentford in what has been a very open and entertaining game. A London derby, the first of the London derbies this season. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. We are, a minute and a half into the second half. We'll be back with Kendall Rowan very shortly for that. Let's turn our attentions now to the Saudi Arabian League. We will this season, because of all the hype with the big signings in the Saudi Arabian Pro League, we will be covering that league along with all the other major leagues around Europe. When there is a game on during the show, we'll try and cover it if it covers one of the big games with one of the big players that are playing in that league. That's not the case this weekend, I'm afraid to say. But John Kane, who is our production manager here at Football Live, is also big on the Saudi Pro League. He knows everything that needs to be known about the Saudi Pro League, and he can bring us everything that you need to know about the Saudi Pro League.
The Saudi Pro League with John Kane on Football Live.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Barry. Yes, I'll say I'm big on the Saudi League. Is getting bigger and bigger, isn't it, with all these players that have joined in that league. As you're aware, on Friday there was a big game for Al Ahly from Jeddah. They beat Al Hazm by 3-1, and that was a hat-trick from the ex-Liverpool man Firmino. Of course, that team included people like Mendy in goal, Mahrez, and a few others as well. So that was a very big game for Al Ahly. Al Ahly, of course, one of the top 5, but they got relegated 2 seasons ago, and they're back with a bang this season round. Yesterday there were 2 games in the Saudi Pro League. The first one was the Al Ta'i that beat in Damak by a 0-0, and it was scored by Al Harabi, and also Al Faiha they beat in Al Khalij by 3-1, and it was a goal from Ricardo, Sakala and Mandash for Al Faiha, and for Al Khalij the goal has been scored by Dubias. Of course, there was no mention for Al Hilal and Al Nasr, who are both 2 of the top biggest club in Saudi football. Al Hilal are the champions for 18 times, record 18 times. However, they did meet yesterday in the Arab Club Champions Cup final, and Al Nasr did win that game against Al Hilal by 2-1 after extra time. There was goals from both goals from Ronaldo, one in the 74th minute and the other one in extra time in the 98th minute, and Michael is the one who scored for Al Hilal, but of course it wasn't good enough in the end. So Al Nasr are champions of the Arab Cup, and congratulations for Ronaldo and co for getting that trophy. Of course, Mane wasn't there as well. Yeah, he might miss out on Bayern Munich, losing 3-0, but he did win a cup on the same day. So that's how it stands for Saudi League yesterday. However, later on today, Al Fatah and Al Ta'awan will play, and then Riyadh and Al Wahda will play later on as well, both at 7 o'clock Nigerian time. So it's after, or more or less, we'll probably get the first half an hour or so, the latest on them 2 games. Like Barry said, no big teams so far we've seen apart of Al Ahly, but I'm sure in the coming weeks we'll be covering more and more of these teams. Barry.
Thank you very much, John. And whilst John's been talking, we've been scraping around looking for a goal, and do you know what?
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
We always deliver. Nantes against Toulouse is our feature game in the French League 1. At half-time, Nantes were leading by a 0-0, but there's been an equalising goal. Toulouse back on level terms, and to tell us all about the goal, it's Jamie McKeague.
Thank you very much, Barry, and it's exactly
what Toulouse have deserved. They've come out in the second half and they have bossed possession. They've been moving the ball about really nicely, and they have reaped the rewards. It starts with Moussa Diarra, on the left-hand side. He whips a lovely ball in to Zakaria Ubukal in the 6-yard box. All he has to do is place it in the bottom left-hand corner. Goalkeeper Fernand Albon-Lafont has absolutely no chance. And like I said, it's what Toulouse have deserved. They've dominated about 80% of the ball so far. Nantes actually looked up until this goal that they were happy to sit in their own half, defending, not making any mistakes, not allowing Toulouse to play through the press. Not were happy enough to sit in a 1-0 lead, but now they have to switch something up. Nantes have made a couple of substitutes as well, and the manager does look like he's going to switch something up, but it's a totally different game now, and Toulouse, with a lot of momentum picked up in the second half, on top of the goal, it does look like Toulouse could go on to win this game. We're about to end the 65th minute here in Nantes. It's now Nantes 1, Toulouse 1.
Thank you very much for that update, that goal there. Jamie McKee, 1-1 in that game. 2-2 between Brentford and Tottenham in the early stages of the second half. 6 minutes gone. It's still looking an open and entertaining game. We'll be back, Kendall Rowan, in just a minute after the break coming up to give you an update from the G-Tech Community Stadium, West London against North London this afternoon on match day 1 in the Premier League. We'll be back very shortly. You are listening to Football Live.
Coming up next Saturday on Football Live with Josh Bailey. Join us live and exclusive from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock, including Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Premier League action. Football Live will be around the grounds chasing the goals.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM.
Some of the best start from the streets of Africa. This is not just a game. It's a feeling within us. It's expressive. It's a passion. Play for the fun, play for the thrill, play responsibly. Proudly African, bet with the best, Naira Bet.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, BRILA. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Around the grounds, chasing the goals.
A goal that is going to blow open the title race in the Bundesliga.
Well, this wasn't supposed to happen. It's been an unbelievable day here on Football Live.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Powered by NairaBet. With Barry Swain.
Yes, welcome back to Football Live. I think that was the first time we've had a little break, and we've come back and there's no goals to tell you about. But don't worry, we've still got plenty of action to bring you up to date with. We'll be back to that Premier League game in just a moment. Let's first of all head into the game in Austria that we're covering at the Red Bull Arena this afternoon. Salzburg win the league more often than Bayern Munich do in the German Bundesliga. But we're talking about the Austrian Bundesliga this afternoon. One of their main rivals trying to close the gap and indeed put some pressure on them for the title this season is Austria Vienna. Opening day in Austria, Salzburg against Austria Vienna. Watching this one for us, with the team news, it's Leon Jones.
Yeah, good afternoon, Barry. The Austrian Bundesliga is back in full swing, and to nobody's surprise, Salzburg have made a perfect start to their season as they try to win their 11th league title in a row. While Salzburg's coach Gerhard Struber, he's made one change from their 3-0 win against Tyrol, as German teenager Morgala makes his debut and comes in for Edin Terzic. The Nigerian midfielder Samson Chiani is on the bench today, and two exciting African talents in Ghana's Forson Mankwa and Ivory Coast's Karim Konate do start this game. Austria Vienna, they've made a good start to the season as well, winning 5 of their 6 competitive fixtures. That being said, they may have one eye on the second leg of their Conference League game against Legia Warsaw. Salzburg haven't lost in the last 17 head-to-heads between these two sides, but could we see a shock result today? Who knows? We'll find out in about half an hour's time.
Thank you very much for that, Leon. Let's head back now in fact, before we go to Brentford, let me quickly just play this for you.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Well, our debutant today on the show, our reporter Cameron Wilson, has been in amongst the goals, certainly in the first half. It's now Jopen 0, Club Brugge 3. Club Brugge now 3-0 up, and only just half an hour played in that game. We'll be across the camp to hear about all that goal in just a second. I can tell you full time it's 0-0 between Fortuna Sittard from Feyenoord and Fortuna Sittard. We've got Costa Matt Key to hear all about the full time in that game. A red card in the first half, but the champions are held on the opening day of the season. But let's head back now to Brentford. We've had 10 minutes or so of the second half, and Kendall Rowan, what I've been watching in the corner of my eye, it's been quite an exciting start to the second half, just like it was for most of the first half.
Yeah, absolutely, Barry. However, it has been a little bit more one-sided this half. Tottenham's press is absolutely incessant. They are controlling the game. I think I've just seen a stat there that said they've had 89% possession this half alone. They are really, really controlling things at the moment. But as is the first half, Brentford's defending is really, really good. Great physical side and defending very, very well against Tottenham at the moment. They are conceding a few corners to Tottenham though at the moment, so they really need to kind of lower that down and try and not to get Tottenham to score from them, because I think they actually are the first in the league for corners from goals from corners last season. So it remains to be seen what's going to happen this half, but at the moment it's 58 minutes gone. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
Thank you very much to Kendall for that. One or two players starting today for Brentford making their debut is Nathan Collins. Here he is, talking ahead of kick-off today.
Like some good players, good quality, set up well, and they're hard to beat, and that's a team you want to play for, a team that's hard to beat, a team that can go toe-to-toe with any other team, so it's always been a challenge again.
And you come here and you know one of the lads, of course, Ben Mee. Yeah. Have you spoke to him before coming over?
I've texted him a little bit, yeah, he's been helping me out already, but even when we were with each other in Burnley, he helped me out a lot when I first come in there, so yeah, he's a legend, to be fair to me.
He was actually your caretaker, Gaffer.
Yeah, hard to believe, I know, but he was good. We won a good few games as well under. He's not bad, he might have a career after.
That was Nathan Collins of Brentford making his debut today. He actually started because Ben Mee is actually out injured. Slight knock. He will be back next week, Ben Mee. They're away on match day 2, Brentford, on Saturday afternoon. You can hear that game right here. Away at Craven Cottage against Fulham, local derby, West London derby, that one of the games that we'll be covering next Saturday afternoon. Let's head to the game at let's go to Cam, shall we? Cam Wilson, he's seen another goal. He's seen plenty of them in the first half. Jopen have not started the season particularly well, have they, Cam? It's now 3-0 to Club Brugge.
No, not at all. They're causing their own problems, and this is embarrassing. First, it's a complete miss-hit from De Kuyper that gets the corner, and then when he takes it, it's not even a great cross. It's hit with pace, but it manages to get all the way to the back post, finds Buchanan, who just heads it back across, and I believe that is Lambert that it hits, and it just ricochets into the goal. I don't know if it's going to count for a Buchanan goal or an own goal for Upen. That is embarrassing, and I wouldn't have... It's not acceptable from Upen. They're 3-0 down now, 32 minutes in.
Not a good start for Upen. They're 3-0 down, and as I say, still some time to be played in the first half of that game. Into the second half, Brentford against Tottenham. We'll be back to Kendall Rowan to hear some more about that. Son just denied by a good save by the feet of the goalkeeper as Spurs dominate the early stages of the second half. Still Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. Can't take your eyes off of that one. Unfortunately, as I'm presenting here, I have to take my eyes off of it. Just occasionally. Matthew Key, he's probably glad he's taken his eyes off of Feyenoord against Fortuna Sittard, because the final score is Feyenoord 0, Fortuna Sittard 0. No goals, Matthew. Did have a few incidents though.
Yeah, absolutely. An entertaining game for the neutral, no doubt, despite the lack of goals. That won't be any comfort to Arne Slot, unfortunately, after Ajax and PSV got their seasons off with big wins at home yesterday. Feyenoord, the reigning champs, are unable to do the same. It's really expected to be a three-way battle this season, so it's not a good start for Arne Slot and his men. Played a lot of the game with 10 men, so they might look at it as a positive result in some ways, but I don't know, it looks like it's going to be a really tight league. So points at home to teams like Fortuna that, with all respect, you'd expect Feyenoord to be beating isn't a good start for them. The other two will be licking their lips at the early drop points for Feyenoord, and it doesn't get any easier for them either. Next week they'll be heading to Sparta Rotterdam. Bit of a derby, that one, and Sparta got off to a good start yesterday, winning away at Zwolle. So slight concerns for Feyenoord, you'd have to say, in the early part of the season, and despite the pre-match celebrations of last season's achievements, they need to get back on track pretty quickly, because it's finished here in Holland. It's finished Feyenoord 0, Fortuna Sittard 0.
Thank you very much this afternoon, Matthew, for those excellent reports as always. Let's head to Chelsea, shall we, now in a moment. We're going to join Billy Andrews at Stamford Bridge, who can exclusively reveal both sets of starting lineups. First of all, let's hear from the very one and only Jurgen Klopp.
I think two really good football teams, very talented football teams, will face each other. We watched obviously Chelsea on the tour, whatever we could get from there, from the last games to play, the Dortmund game, the Newcastle game. A lot of good things. You can see that it's a very really talented team, and that's what we have to prepare for. It's a home game for them, the first home game after a long break, if you want, and after a disappointing season. That's all clear, so they want to show up, definitely. New manager, Coach is a top manager, so they will show up. We have to be ready. We have to be absolutely ready.
Yeah, you've got to be ready, Jurgen. You've got to be absolutely ready. I'll tell you somebody who is absolutely ready in West London at Stamford Bridge. Watching this one for us, it's Billy Andrews, who can bring us exclusive team news.
Yeah, welcome to Stamford Bridge, where Mauricio Pochettino hands debuts to a quartet of players for Chelsea. It's Robert Sanchez, the £25 million goalkeeper, in the net for Chelsea this afternoon. Of course, Kepa Arrizabalaga looking to go to Real Madrid to replace Thibaut Courtois. Axel Disasi and Levi Colwill making their first competitive starts for Chelsea. Of course, Levi Colwill excellent for Brighton last year, with Thiago Silva in the middle of those two. Reece James, the new club captain, on the right-hand side in the wing-back position, with Ben Chilwell on the left. Conor Gallagher, Enzo Fernandez and Carney Chukwuemeka in a midfield, with Raheem Sterling and new boy Nicholas Jackson up front. The likes of Andre Santos, Malo Gusto and Mikhailo Mudryk are on the bench as well, as is Leslie Ugo-Chukwu, new signing from Rennes, who is eligible to play for Nigeria. As for Liverpool, well, the back five pretty much picks itself. Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk and Andrew Robertson. And then Jurgen Klopp has gone all-out attack for Liverpool. Not a defensive midfielder in sight. It's Alexis McAllister, Cody Gakpo and Dominic Szoboszlai in a midfield three, with Mohamed Salah, Diogo Jota and Luis Diaz in a front three. Darwin Núñez will have to try and make an impression off the bench, but kick off in just under an hour, and it's going to be an exciting one.
Really looking forward to this one, Billy, and we'll be back for a chat, I'm sure, before kick-off. Chelsea against Liverpool. There's all your exclusive team news right here on Football Live, exclusive to Brila FM. Now let's head back to the game that's currently taking place in the Premier League. 65 minutes gone. It's Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2-2. It's a game that just keeps on giving. There's been no goals so far in the second half, but Kendall Rowan has just sent me a stat. Brentford, 9 shots, 6 on target. Spurs, 15 shots, 5 on target. Every time I look up, one of these two is attacking, Kendall. It looks an exhilarating game and a great advert for Premier League football.
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. We have been really subjected to some brilliant games already this weekend, with I'm sure more to come with the later kickoff. But what a game here today at the GTEC Community Stadium. There's been chances galore. Tottenham in the second half have just taken the lead a little bit in terms of shots and chance creation, possession, things like that. But Brentford is still really looking really good and still in the game. Their new goalkeeper, obviously David Raya, he has gone off to Arsenal for Brentford. But their new goalkeeper, Flecken, has actually done a really good job in terms of stopping Tottenham's chances. I know the scoreline doesn't really reflect that too much, conceding 2 goals, but he's actually done a really good job, and he's keeping Brentford in the game at the moment. But at the moment, it is around 66 minutes gone, and it's Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
Thank you very much, Kendall Rowan. 2-2 in that London derby between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur. Sounds a terrific game. I've got it on in the corner of my eye here, and every time I look at the screen, one of those two teams is attacking. It's a real ding-dong derby. And Brentford, well, they were behind, then they were ahead. Tottenham equalising, and there's been loads of talking points in that game. A few yellow cards been brandished around as well by the referee. Andrew Bonacore is watching the game in Portugal between Rio Ave and Chaves at the Estadio de Arcos, and he can bring us up to date with all the early exchanges. It sounds quite an interesting game, this one, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite a shock, to be honest. I didn't expect a massive amount from the start of the Portuguese league, but we're 10 minutes in so far, and Kelechi Nokali, the Nigerian midfielder for Chaves, he looks determined to do everything himself. He snuffed out a very promising Rio Ave attack in the first couple of minutes, but we've just seen him go inches wide for a real worldie, a fizzing strike from 25 yards after he recovered the ball on the halfway line. So it's high energy football from Wakali. It's extremely warm out there though, so I'm not sure how long he can keep up those levels of energy. But so far, a very evenly matched game, and it's still Rio Ave 0, Chaves 0.
Thank you very much, Andrew Bonacore. We'll be across to you as soon as any goals hit the back of the net or any action unfolds that's worth talking about in that game. We are, of course, covering Brentford against Tottenham. That's 2-2 at the moment. Feyenoord and Fortuna Sittard ending 0-0 in the Eredivisie. The champions held with 10 men at home. Not one to lose. One into the last 10 minutes of that game. Jopen 0. Club Brugge 3 goals in the first half there for Club Brugge. It's not even half time yet. And Rio Ave 0, Chaves 0, as we've just heard. There's a 4 o'clock kickoff, which is about 20 minutes away, and that is in Spain, and that is the game between Celta Vigo and Osasuna, and we'll try and catch up with Ash Sandiford very shortly for some team news on that game. Now, on Friday night, Manchester City rose the curtain and set the standards in the Premier League. It was all very comfortable in the end. You thought to yourself, 3-0 victory, Rodri with 1, 2 first half goals from Erling Haaland, and everyone was saying, City are top after the first weekend of the season. Erling Haaland's the top scorer in the Premier League. Well, it's not strictly true, because Alexander Isak scored 2 yesterday, didn't he, for Newcastle United. So he's not out on his own, Haaland at the top. But it wasn't all good news for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola speaking to the press after the game at Turf Moor. 3-0 victory, but another injury for Kevin De Bruyne.
But maybe it was my mistake, but when it's an injury after 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it's not about that, it's something wrong. When you have 65, the fatigue of the muscle, you can read that, but it's 10-15 minutes is something we have to talk with the doctors, with him, and you have to be relaxed. Free in your mind, he'll be back for sure. Like happened. It was, I remember 1 year, I think our second Premier League we were together was a long time injured. So he knows a little bit that. So have to relax because he came back for that position and he will be back now.
That's Pep Guardiola. And another injury for Kevin De Bruyne in the early stages, really, that game against Brentford on Friday evening, but a comfortable victory nonetheless. Just looking on the screen now, Brentford making a couple of changes as they look to stem the flow of Tottenham domination. There's nearly 70 minutes on the clock, and we'll head back to Kendall Rowe in just a minute for an update on that. Let's head into the game we're featuring in Spain today. Kickoff is about 15 minutes away. It's Celta Vigo against Osasuna. It's Estadio de la Baldos, and watching this one for us, it's a good afternoon to Ash Sandiford.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Barry. I'm really excited about this game between Celta Vigo and Osasuna. Huge game between these two teams. Newly appointed Rafael Benitez will be taking charge of this game today. He took over in June, and this is going to be his first game for Celta Vigo, so he'll be looking forward to trying to get 3 points. New signings from Carl Starfleet. He does not start. He came in from Celtic back in July. He won't start today. He starts on the bench. Also with Carlos Doctor, they both start on the bench. But debuts for Charles Perez, who was on a permanent loan last season, and now he has made that a permanent deal this season. He had 35 appearances. And Jonathan Bamba, he's now in the team. He came in this season from Lille, and he starts on the left-hand side. And the skipper, the king of Celta Vigo, been there since he's been 8 years old, Igo Aspas, he starts up front. As for Osasuna, new signing Alejandro and Katina from Real Vallecano, he starts in the centre of defence alongside the veteran David Garcia, who's had over 200 appearances for the club. And Osasuna's last top goal scorer last season, the Argentinian, starts on the bench, Ezequiel Aquila. He's going to be starting on the bench today, so he won't feature at all, maybe until the second half. And the Colombian-born Jonathan Mojica, on loan from Villarreal, he starts at left-back today, and we're really looking forward to this game at this stadium. So big game in about 15 minutes time between Celta Vigo and Osasuna.
Thank you very much, Ash. The DFB Pokal Cup in Germany got underway yesterday. It's a fixed draw. It's a bit weird. The lower league clubs drawn at home against the big guns. Nuremberg hit 9 at Obernerland. Leverkusen, nearly as good. He won by 8 clear goals at Teutonia. Dortmund, well, they only scored 6 against Schut. Hertha and St. Pauli got 5, and there was 4 for Stuttgart. But there were some shocks. Bochum and Werder Bremen both knocked out. Bochum losing on penalties to Arminia Bielefeld, who were relegated 2 seasons in succession from the Bundesliga to the third tier. 10-man Werder losing 3-2 at Victoria Köln. Doni Bogasavic scoring a dramatic 94th minute winner in that game. And it could be another shock on the cards this afternoon. At half-time, it's Utin Hakin 1, Augsburg 0 in one of the ties being played today. There are some goals about, actually. AZ Alkmaar have just beaten Go Ahead Eagles in the Eredivisie by 5 goals to 1. Apologies for Matt Key. I think we chose the wrong game for you. There's 6 goals in that one, none in the game that he's just seen. So anyway, we haven't got a goal in the game that we're covering in Portugal, but we have got a red card, and to tell us all about it is Andrew Bonacore.
Yes, it's a red card for Chavez player. It's Bruno Langa. It's actually a second yellow and therefore a red. He just, I guess the word would be enjoyed, should we say, a running battle along with the Rio Ave striker Lopez. And they got on each other's nerves, basically. One pushed the other, and Langa really just went in a little bit too late, a little bit from behind. Did get the ball, but took plenty of the man. And despite his massive protestations, the referee immediately brandished that second yellow card, quickly followed by a red. So Chavez up against it now, and they're down to 10 men. But it's still Rio Ave 0, Chavez 0.
Thank you very much for that update there, Andrew Bonacore. No goals, but another one with a red card. I hope it's not full in a trend there. By the way, Wolfsburg 4-0 up after just an hour away at Maccabi. Wolfsburg's covering those DFB Pokal games in Germany. Breaking news that we mentioned earlier, Roberto Mancini has quit Italy. It looks like he might be the new manager of the Saudi Arabian national side, but it looks like there might also be some other offers on the table. Let's head back, shall we, to the game that's taking place right now in the London Derby at the Premier League, and watching for us at the G-Tech Community Centre. I keep calling it the Community Centre. It's the Community Stadium, and it's Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur, and it's Kendall Rowan.
Yes, Brentford are just getting back into the game a little bit here. Tottenham not as incessant with the press as they were a couple of minutes ago, but it's still a very, very good game here at the G-Tech Community Stadium this afternoon. Brentford had made a couple of substitutions just to get back into the game, freshen things up a little bit. So Thomas Frank has decided to replace Aaron Hickey with Mads Rasmussen, and Christian Norgard also has left the pitch for Shandon Baptiste. And Johan Visser, who had a really, really decent first half and a goal, he has been replaced by Kevin Schade. Spurs have also made a couple of substitutions as well. Son, the new club captain after the departure of Harry Kane, he has gone off, and Perisic has come on to replace him. And Oliver Skipp, who did get a yellow card in the first half, he has been replaced by Pape Matar Sarr. But it's 75 minutes gone here at the G-Tech Community Stadium this afternoon, and it is still Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
Thank you very much, Kendall. Half-time in 2 games in the SPFL in Scotland. Motherwell 0, Hibernian 0, Hearts 0, Kilmarnock 0. Hardly any goals in Scotland earlier on today. Celtic winning away at Aberdeen. Let's head now into Belgium. Plenty of action in the first half for Cam Wilson to tell us about. Half-time whistle has now blown, and Club Brugge are very much in charge, aren't they, Cam?
Yeah, absolutely. Club Brugge have been all over them. Thiago up front, he's been causing so many problems. Every time he gets the ball, he's been double or triple teamed. He's making it look easy, showing out all the skill moves. The confidence is there from him, and he's almost rejuvenated the rest of the team because they are playing to his level. And some of the goals, the quality they've been playing with, tremendous. But UPenn have to step it up. 3-0 Bruges.
Thank you very much, Cam. We'll be back with you with some more action, I'm sure, in the second half. His debut today, as we mentioned earlier, on Football Live, 3 first-half goals. Plenty of action in France. Brèche 3, Lens 2. Lens qualifying for the Champions League, of course, last season, but hardly the best of starts today. They were 2-0 up in that game, ended up losing 3-2, and Thomason sent off as well. They were 2-0 up at half-time. In fact, 2-1 up at half-time, a goal right in injury time, and then an 87th minute winner from Del Castillo, winning it for Brèche. A very dramatic finish to that game. Of course, our featured game today is just about to finish, actually. Nantes against Toulouse. We'll bring you a full-time update with Jamie in just a moment. Clermont 2, Monaco 3 is in the dying stages of that game, and about 10 minutes to go. Monaco have taken the lead 3-2 there. Ben Yedder with his second goal of the game. They were behind against Clermont at one stage there, Monaco, but looks like they're going to get off to a winning start in the French League. In the Belgian League, Anderlecht won the early game away at Saint-Troudem by 1-0. This, despite being down to 10 men for most of the second half. Their goal scorer for in that game was Ndiaye from the early stages of the second half, but he scored, and literally within a couple of minutes of Ndiaye scoring, the red card came out for Dreyer, but that goal from Moussa Ndiaye proved to be the winner. So let's head back, shall we, to Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur. It's been a game that we can't take our eyes off of. 4 goals in the first half. So far, Kendall Rowan, no goals in the second half, but it is still 100 miles an hour. It's not the hottest country of the UK, but it's a balmy, sweaty, kind of humid afternoon. But they're still keeping the tempo up, aren't they, both these teams?
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams very much still in the game, and with the substitutions, both teams have freshened up significantly. Both possessions being shared by both teams, shots are being shared by both teams, and it is just a really, really good afternoon here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. We are obviously in the last 15 minutes of the normal 90 minutes of playing time this afternoon, and we could see some more goals because Brentford and Tottenham are both top of the list for goals scored between the 76th and 90th minutes, on par with Newcastle United, all with 16 goals last season in that section of the match. So we could see more goals here this afternoon. But at the moment, it's 78 minutes gone. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
Thank you very much, Kendall. I can tell you VAR have just had
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
My lip-finger coordination didn't quite work there. VAR just had a look at a quick shout for a Brentford penalty, which has been waved away, but there has been a goal in the game that we're covering in France between Nantes and Toulouse. We'll feature that one when we come back, but for now, we're going to hand you back once again to our great friend Tony in the Brilla FM studios, and we'll catch you very shortly. Over to you, Tony.
This is a commercial break exclusive to Nigeria and Africa alone. But don't worry, Football Live will be back very, very shortly.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brilla.net, BrillaSports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
This is Football Live.
And you could not have scripted this.
It's crazy, absolutely insane.
Oh my dearie me. I don't want to laugh or cry.
It's a show that's packed to the brim.
Oh my word, what is going on here? An unbelievable day here on Football Live.
Means there's action everywhere you look.
Great entertainment.
That's fantastic. Wow, just wow.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live, powered by NairaBet, with Barry Swain.
Welcome back to Football Live. We played the goal jingle just before handing back to Tony and the crew at Brilla FM. And we're back now, and let's head to France and hear all about that goal in the game between Nantes and Toulouse. And it's come very late in the game for Jamie McKeag.
Thank you very much, Barry. And it looks like Toulouse have won it at the death, and it's big 6'3" centre half Rasmus Nicholson who heads it in. It comes from a corner, whipped in by substitute Fez Shabby. It's directed towards the 6-yard box, and Nantes aren't quick enough to react and clear their lines. And Nicholson gets his head on it to stab it into the back of the net and stab a dagger into the hearts of the Nantes fans. And I tell you what, it's what they've deserved. They've been by far the better team, especially in the second half, and you only thought a winner was coming, and it has. Nantes are going for it now, though. Florent Mollet, who's been brilliant all game, tried an effort from distance, and Kader Bamba, who came on as a substitute, had a shot from inside the box, but it was saved by the goalkeeper. Time is running on for the home side. We're into the final minute of the 9 additional minutes. Can Toulouse hold on?
Thank you very much, Jamie McQueen. Can't beat a good late winner. I wonder if it's going to be a late winner in the game in the Premier League. There's around about 4 minutes to go in the game between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur at the GTEC Community Stadium. And watching this one in the sunshine is Kendall Rowan. Kendall, any sign of a late winner maybe?
Yeah, it's a beautiful afternoon here in London, and it is also a beautiful game of football. The second half has been a little bit less eventful, shall we say, than the first half. But again, both teams are still in this game. Both goalkeepers making some great saves, and Brentford have also just made another substitution as well. Thomas Frank decided to just bring Christopher Ayer off, and Zanker, or Matthias Jorgensen, has come on in replacement of him as well. So it remains to be seen. We are 87 minutes gone. We're not sure how much added time just yet, but we will see very, very shortly. But it is 87 minutes gone. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
West London against North London, of course. Staying with North London, let's hear, shall we, from the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta, who's very pleased with yesterday's 2-1 victory against Nottingham Forest at the Emirates.
Yeah, welcome to the Premier League. I think that's the highlight. We were super dominant. We deserved to win the game, and there's no question that we deserved to win the game. But when you are 2-0 up and we had some chances to kill the game, we didn't. And then we gave a very sloppy goal away after being there and having the corner and having a chance on the corner to stray away in 2 passes, concede a goal. And when that happens in the league, it's game on. Every team has the resources, the quality to create issues. And it was more about the feeling than actually what happened, because the reality is that we didn't concede anything. But yeah, you are running the clock down, and in this league, that's a very dangerous thing to do. But overall, obviously, very happy.
We'll hook up with John Kane in just a second for all the latest odds and NairaBet. First of all, let's head to France one more time for Jamie McCaig. The final whistle has gone. Is it victory for Toulouse, Jamie?
It is indeed. I must admit, it is what they deserve. 101 minutes of football is finished with the away side coming from behind to win 2-1. They dominated the ball. They moved it about really quickly. They weren't creating many chances in the first half, but in the second half, they were clinical. They had 2 big chances, one from a corner and one from a ball across the 6-yard box, and they took both of them. I will admit Toulouse are probably frustrated to go down 1-0 as early as they did. It's never nice conceding to a penalty, but they showed a lot of resilience to come from behind, away from home, and win and get all 3 points on their first game of the season. This is massive for both sides. As we said, not in a relegation scrap last year. Toulouse were safe enough in mid-table, but I think getting off to a good start is massively important. I'm not sure what's next for Nantes. They do need to improve, but today Toulouse were the worthy winners.
Thank you very much for that, Jamie McKeag. Thank you very much for the updates from that game this afternoon in the French League at the Stade de la Bouchotte. We're into the last minute at Brentford against Tottenham. We'll be back very shortly with Kendall Rowan for an update. We're set to go into what will probably amount to quite a few minutes of added time. Usually is. The game between Salzburg and Austria Vienna has just got underway. Leon Jones will be our reporter in that match. We'll be across to him very soon. Let's speak to John Kane now. John, you've got some odds for the games coming up this afternoon.
I have indeed. Thank you very much, Barry.
The latest in-play betting odds from NairaBet.
Yes, the latest odds from Narabet page. Of course, all these prices are subject to change. Just to let you know, it's actually 4 minutes at a time is been added for the game at Brentford Spurs. The reason being, you've got time if you want to put the last few bets on that game. Brentford are just gone up to 11.0. The draw is 1.17, so it's literally virtually nothing, and it's 10.0 for a Spurs win. So it's still about 3.5 minutes to go into that game. Eupen Club Brugge, the game that we're covering. Eupen 67.0 for a home win. They scored 4 goals and turn around again. The really good team of Brugge. 21.0 if you think is a draw, and it's suspended for Club Brugge. The other game that keeping an eye on with Andrew Manacore is the Portuguese Primera. It's 33 minutes gone. It's still 0-0. Rio Ave are 1.53. The draw has just gone down to 3.40, and Chavez, who got a player sent off early on, are 9.50. Of course, all these prices are subject to change, and of course, we'll be having Ayu with us in about 10 minutes or so for more betting odds from the Chelsea against Liverpool game. But for the time being, back to Barry.
Thank you very much, John. So that's you up to date with the odds. And as John just mentioned there, we'll be catching up for a little chat with Ayalabi of Naira Bets in probably around about 10 minutes time ahead of the big game this afternoon between Chelsea and Liverpool. Right, let's head back, shall we, to the game that's taking place between Brentford and Tottenham. As John mentioned in that update just a few minutes ago, 4 minutes of stoppage time. We're into stoppage time now at the GTEC Community Stadium. No Harry Kane, of course, for Tottenham Hotspur anymore. Kendall, how has Richarlison looked this afternoon as his replacement?
Oh, Barry, I don't think Spurs fans are going to be overly happy with Richarlison. In the last 2-3 minutes alone, he's had 3 chances wasted. Every single one of them just cannot get onto the ball. I don't know whether that's him or whether that's the defenders from Brentford being so physical and not allowing him to get onto the ball as he should, but he really has wasted a few chances there. Jesnio Udogie as well, who is the debutant for Tottenham. They signed him at the beginning of last season, the last summer transfer window, and he went back on loan to his club and came back to Tottenham this summer. He's had a really, really good game, one of the standout performers. He's also just wasted another chance. Tottenham had another corner again, swung in, but the defenders for Brentford have just been so fantastic and have really, really kept Brentford in the game today. But at the moment, we are 93 minutes in of the 4 minutes added time. We're nearly at the end of full time here, and it is Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
Thank you very much, Kendall. We'll be across to Kendall when that final whistle blows in around about 60 seconds time. And at the moment, looking up, it's Tottenham in possession, trying to apply the pressure. But once again, Brentford have got all those men behind the ball, so very well structured and well organised as a defensive unit. We've got some breaking news for you. Fred, the Manchester United defender, has confirmed this. It's been confirmed this afternoon. Has joined the Turkish Super League side Fenerbahce. Fred has signed for Fenerbahce from Manchester United. Haven't got the exact details to hand, but I can tell you that is a move that has been confirmed this afternoon. Fenerbahce signing Manchester United midfielder Fred. That's a done deal. Right, let's see where we are in terms of latest goals. As we mentioned earlier, a late goal in the game between Toulouse and Nantes. So Toulouse winning that one by 2-0. Monaco are now 4-2 up. Magnus Cloche has scored 3 minutes into stoppage time to cement the 3 points there for Monaco. Looks like they're going to be off to a winning start. Freiburg 2-0 up at Oberhausen in the DFB Pokal, which is taking place this weekend in Germany. And yeah, that's really about it in terms of goals in those particular games. And yeah, we'll be heading back. I think what we'll do now is let's start concentrating. The final whistle has gone, by the way. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2 is a result. We'll be back with Kendall in just a moment to get a final update, but in the meantime, let's start focusing our attentions on Chelsea against Liverpool. And here Speaking ahead of the game, Mauricio Pochettino, the new Chelsea manager.
I feel really good. I'm so excited to come back to the Premier League. Really busy because it's a period that we are so busy with the pre-season and everything. But I am so happy, so excited, and yes, I can't wait to be here Sunday and start the competition. But like any club, we are working really hard to try to add more quality, and of course to reinforce the team, the squad. Yes, we are working hard. I am so happy in the way that we are doing the things with Paul, Lawrence, and the owners. The relationship is really, really good and really close. And yes, at the moment I am so far so good. We are so happy to work in this way.
That was Mauricio Pochettino, obviously taking charge for the first time this afternoon. Billy Andrews is our man at Stamford Bridge. Around about 20 minutes to go until kick-off. We're going to hear from Nicholas Jackson, the new Chelsea signing, soon. And how much are Chelsea, Billy, how much are Chelsea going to be relying on him hitting the ground running? Because he's looked very impressive pre-season, but it's all about what he does in a Premier League match, really, and it starts today, doesn't it?
Yeah, it starts today. He has to hit the ground running for Chelsea. If he doesn't score, he at least has to look dangerous. We've seen with Mykhailo Mudryk, there were some flashes the second half of last season, but he never really settled or took any of his chances at all. Him and Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling's been around a few years. He's been around the block a few times with Liverpool and Manchester City. He's a winner. He's a goal scorer. Did fantastically well for England at the Euros. I am slightly worried about the back three for Chelsea. I mean, Thiago Silva's a fantastic defender. He's won everything there is to win in the game, but he turns 39 next month, and there were signs towards the end of last season that those legs just aren't what they used to be, particularly that niggling thing he has with his knee. Levi Colwill, fantastic for Brighton, but there's an extra pressure being at Chelsea, and Reece James I thought was an odd choice for captain for Mauricio Pochettino, a player who is, when he's fully fit and flying, one of the best attacking fullbacks in the league, but the problem is he never stays fit for a full season. And as for Liverpool, well, Jurgen Klopp probably hoping that they can outscore their opponents this season if they aren't going to sign a defensive midfielder. Like I said, they are both, Chelsea and Liverpool, gunning for Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia. Southampton now know that Liverpool have at least 110 million that they can spend on new players, so they're going to expect Liverpool to meet the £50 million valuation for the Belgian midfielder, who, when he scored against Chelsea in August of last season, Chelsea apparently put a bid in for him, despite the fact he'd only been at St Mary's for about 6 weeks. So, kick-off in just under 20 minutes. I'm expecting there to be goals. I'm expecting there to be a high tempo. I don't think we're going to see a fifth Premier League 0-0 in a row between these two sides.
I'm with you on that thinking, Billy, and we'll be back with Billy very, very shortly for updates throughout the afternoon. Chelsea against Liverpool. We mentioned there in the preview, we started the chat with Billy just now. Nicholas Jackson making his debut. He starts today for Chelsea. Here he is, having a chat just the other day.
My name is Nicholas Jackson. People call me Jackson, or some people they call me Nix, age 22. I mean, I grew up in Ziguinchor and then Gambia a little bit, but because my dad is from there, and then I came back to my hometown. Start playing football since when I was young, Yeah, always. Like in Africa, it's like a tradition. Like we play every time in the street and all that. So, since I was young, I played football. I like to come deep and play. I like to play. Help the team. So I'm not like stay there. No, I'm a mobile. I like to be mobile. Hi Chelsea fans, it's Nicholas Jackson. I can't wait to start soon. Hope to see you soon on the bridge, okay? Take care.
So there you have it, Nicholas Jackson. That's not more of an interview, it's more of an introduction to himself. That's what he's all about. Sounds like a pleasant enough guy. Another African striker. Maybe Victor Osimhen has set the pace, and maybe we're going to see an influx of great African strikers in the coming years. Who knows? And Nicholas Jackson starting this afternoon. Can't wait to watch this one. It's Chelsea against Liverpool. Just over 15 minutes to kick off. The game we covered earlier has now finished, and we can cross back to the GTEC Community Stadium for one last time this afternoon. A 2-2 draw between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur, and watching every minute of this one was Kendall Rowan.
Yeah, both teams have a lot of positives to take from today. Thomas Frank continues really, really good campaign from last season, and Spurs in their new era without Harry Kane, new manager, new players, looked really, really good. The game was absolutely fantastic. We had a really, really brilliant first half, eventful first half. Second half, a little bit lackluster, but it still meant both teams were in the game. But really, what a fantastic game it was to watch this afternoon at the GTEC Community Stadium. So I'm really, really excited to see where this season leads with both of these teams. But it is full time, and it is Brentford 2, Tottenham 2.
Well, 15 minutes to go until kick-off at Stamford Bridge. So let's quickly go round the grounds in the games that are currently taking place in our featured matches around Europe on Football Live this afternoon, exclusive to Bria FM. Let's start, shall we, with a game that we thought for a moment had a goal, but then the good old offside flag, I think it was, came to the rescue for, I think it was Austria Vienna. Let's find out. Salzburg against Austria Vienna is our featured match in the Austrian Bundesliga this afternoon. And watching for us, it's Leon Jones.
Yeah, you were nearly spot on there, Barry, but it was the flag that came to the rescue for Salzburg. I mean, they started the game really well, Salzburg. Rocco Simic up front, he's had 3 chances already. But then the ball was in the back of the net for Austria Vienna, thanks to Gruber. However, they checked it on VAR and he was a good 2-3 yards offside. I don't know why they needed to use the VAR. The linesman should have seen that one. But no goal for Vienna, and it is still 0-0 here at the Red Bull Arena.
Thank you very much, Leon. Let's cross now to Portugal. Rio Ave all over Chavez, apparently. Andrew Bonacore can tell us all about what's happening in the early stages of that game in Portugal.
Yeah, we're actually approaching half-time. If you can imagine Crystal Palace defending with 10 men on the edge of their box for half an hour, that's basically what we've seen here since the red card for Bruno Langa of Chavez. Chavez have made it to the Rio Ave penalty twice since then, but it's been a massive onslaught from Rio Ave. But you have to say it's interesting because Rio Ave seem to be the ones feeling the pressure. They're shooting a lot from 20, 25 yards out rather than taking their time and just trying to stay patient. But the way that Chavez are defending with those 10 men, they really are camped at the edge of their own box, and they're looking to waste as much time as they possibly can. It looks like they'll make it till half-time, but this has been an absolute onslaught from Rio Ave, but it's still Rio Ave 0, 10-man Chavez 0.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We'll be across to Andrew as and when things unfold in that game right here on Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
Well, let's head into Belgium again now. Club Brugge have virtually got the 3 points sewn up before half-time. Let's see how they're getting on in the second half, because they've had another big opportunity in their game this afternoon, which is away to Open. But still 3-0, a good chance for Cam Wilson to report to us.
Yeah, Brugge fans will be wondering, how is it not 4? Olsen, the first chance of the game he gets, he picks it up from the edge of the box and just lashes it as hard as he can. Keeper would have no chance, but it just tips over the crossbar. He's so unlucky. And I think that got to his head because the biggest chance of the game fell for him in the second half. He's running down the right-hand side. He enters the box. He's just got to play it across to Thiago, and he miskicks it. He just fluffs it. And it's a ruined opportunity. Still 3-0, 60 minutes in.
Thank you very much. Let's concentrate once again on the game that we are going to be watching in, well, looking at the clock now, just a little over 10 minutes to go. I'm really excited. Looking forward to this one. Chelsea against Liverpool from Stamford Bridge. Chelsea getting their Premier League campaign underway. No Champions League football, not even European football this season. Only the Europa League for Liverpool as well. These two sides, their priority this season has got to be a top 5 finish, which should be enough to see them into the Champions League for next season. That has got to be the priority. In years gone by, they have both started most seasons with the hopes of the title. Well, they're not that much hope, but for either side, there's not been much hope for either side in the talk of who's going to win the title. It's been basically Manchester City or Arsenal in the discussions that everyone has had over the summer months, but Liverpool would like to think that they might just be an outsider. Chelsea will think that they can spring a surprise team. And Liverpool have made a couple of decent signings in the summer, and one of them is Alexis McAllister. Here he is.
A dream come true. It's amazing to be here. Can't wait to get started.
You've taken the number 10 shirt. Some great Liverpool players in the past have worn that shirt. You've worn it at your other clubs as well. Any particular meaning behind that number for you?
No, not really. I know how important is number 10 in football. I had the possibility to take the number 8 as well, which is a big number for this club because of Gerard, of course, but I decided for number 10 because I use it a lot of time in Argentina, in Brighton, under 23s national team as well. So it's a number that I really like, and that's why I chose it.
So there you go, Alexis McAllister speaking this week ahead of the opening game of the season. It's Chelsea against Liverpool. Let's quickly turn our attentions to a match that we're covering in Spain this afternoon at the Estadio del Bierdos. And watching this one for us, Ash Sandiford, it's Celta Vigo against Osasuna. And there has been a chance in this game for the home side, Ash, I understand.
Yeah, there certainly has been a chance for the home side. Still currently Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 0. It's been a fast start from Osasuna, to be honest. We've gone right in from the off in attacking positions. You've got Lucas Torreira really getting the ball on the right-hand side and trying to ping the ball up to Budimir, but he just can't get that ball under control. But it was a big chance for Celta Vigo, I think just after about 11 minutes in, where Iago Aspas just cut in on his right-hand side, chopped left, and then he just slid it past the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper just got fingertips to it, and it just went round the post. So good chance from Celta Vigo. They're putting a lot of pressure on Osasuna at the moment, with various amounts of corners going in and around the box. But as it stands currently, Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 0.
So still 0-0 in our featured game in Spain. Real Madrid last night got their campaign off to a winning start in Spain. 2-0 they won away at Athletic Bilbao. What could have been a banana skin, Rodrigo and the debutant Jude Bellingham both on target in the first half in a 2-0 win. Ex-Tottenham player Steven Bergwijn scored twice as Ajax beat newly promoted Heracles Almelo in Amsterdam by 4-1. In Portugal, Sporting scored in the 99th minute to see off Vizela 3-2 in an epic match. 2 goals for Victor Gyökeres, a summer signing from Coventry City in England, had Sporting in total control. 2 late goals levelled it for Vizela before a winner deep in stoppage time. Newcastle, of course, thrashed Aston Villa 5-1 at St James's Park. Alexander Isak back with 2 goals and a debut goal also for Harvey Barnes as well. Villa had Tyrone Mings, the England international defender, stretchered off in that game. So, let's cast our attentions to the Belgian league now because, on Friday night, Kortrijk didn't have the best of starts. They lost 6-0 away at Antwerp. They could yet finish the weekend not bottom because
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Jopen are trying their hardest to take over Kortrijk's mantle at the bottom of the Pro League after week 1. They are now 4-0 down against Club Brugge. Club Brugge are running riot in our feature game in Belgium at the Curvesh Stadium. And Cam Wilson can tell us all about that 4th goal.
I mentioned earlier about Olsen, the power he had on that left foot. And this time it's a ricochet from the corner. It falls to him on the edge of the box. And he just blasts it as hard as he can into the left side netting. Keeper, no chance. You could barely see the ball moving. It was that quick. What a goal from Andreas Skov Olsen. Take a bow. The man from Denmark is 4-0 Bruges, 64 minutes in.
Thank you very much for that update there from Belgium, and Brugge are well on the way. Cam Wilson, thank you very much. 4-0 they lead. Earlier on, Fortuna Sittard managed to hold on for a 0-0 draw away at the champions in the Netherlands in the Eredivisie, a 0-0 draw away at Feyenoord. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2 has just finished. We're just about to turn our focus on to the big match being played in the Premier League this afternoon. It's Chelsea against Liverpool. Nantes 1, Toulouse 2. Late winner there for Toulouse. Club Brugge, as we just heard, 4-0 up. Rio Ave are putting all the pressure on 10-man Chavez. It's half-time in that game. And let's go across, shall we, to Andrew Bonacore and get that half-time update in the game between Rio Ave and Chavez.
Yes, 0-0 at half-time between Rio Ave and Chavez. This game has been shaped by the 14th minute dismissal of Chavez defender Bruno Langa. His second yellow coming just a minute after his first. A lunge on Rio striker Ruiz saw him off. And Chavez since then have had no attacking intent at all. They did start well, Nigerian midfielder, with what is still the closest we have seen to a goal. His 25-yard drive just inches wide. That's Nwakali. But the final half hour really of the first half was all Rio Ave. But we'll see if they make any effort to get that all-important first goal. They've been a little bit panicky. They're not really taking their time, not showing any patience at all. But they're up against a red and blue striped wall in defence. So it's not been the greatest game so far. We'll have to see if we can finally get the goal in this game in the second half. But after the first 45 minutes, it's 0-0 between Rio Ave and Chavez.
Andrew Bonacore unable to find a goal in the first half in his match, but there have been plenty of goals in the Belgian Pro League.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
It's another goal for Club Brugge, and to tell us all about it, Cam Wilson.
Yes, Club Brugge have been dominating and they deserve this. It's a brilliant ball whipped in by Vanaken, and it just finds Dinkenargo on the edge, like 3 yards out from the box, just wide of the post. And it's a lovely little dive. He gets to it and just laces it past the keeper. They are making it look too easy. 5-0 Bruges, 66 minutes in.
Wow, 5-0 to Bruges, and there's also been a goal in our featured match. First goal of the season from the Spanish La Liga.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
And to tell us all about that goal, which way's it gone, Ash Sandiford?
Well, it's gone to the visitors. It's Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 1, and it's come against the run of play, to be honest with you. In the middle of the park, they've done really well while John McCoy has put it out on the right-hand side to Lucas Toro. And Lucas Toro has just whipped in a fantastic ball in the inside. And it's a great header from Moy Gomez. But it's cannoned off the crossbar. And who, with a simple tap-in? Ruben Garcia with a little diving header right into near enough an empty net to put the visitors 1-0 up. It's Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 1.
Thank you very much for that, Ash. Well, a couple of goals to tell you about. And the Open are 5-0 down to Club Brugge, and Osasuna winning on the opening day away at Celta Vigo. Let's head back to John Kane. Ahead of kick-off, the teams are out of the tunnel for the game between Chelsea and Liverpool. Let's catch up with John, who can give us some more odds with NairaBet.
Yes, good afternoon again, everyone. The latest odds from NairaBet. I do apologise. We're supposed to have Aya with us today, but through technical issues, I'll be doing the honours today. So, Chelsea against Liverpool. Chelsea are 3.04 for winning the game. The draw is 3.80, and Liverpool has just gone down to 2.20. Now, if you're interested in goals, if you think it's going to be over 3.5 goals in that game, it's 2.30. If you think it's going to be less than 3.5 goals, is 1.60. Just the odd correct scores. If you think it's going to be 1-1 draw between both teams, it's 7.50. If you think Chelsea going to win by 2-0 is 17.0. If you think Liverpool going to win 2-0, they are slightly favourite on that. They are 13.0. So these are for the few odds. Half-time, full-time. Chelsea to win half-time and full-time has just gone up. They are 4.60. A draw, and then Chelsea 7.0. And if you think Liverpool will win half-time and Chelsea win full-time, that's 23.0. And of course, all these odds are subject to change from the NairaBet website.
Coming up next Saturday on Football Live with Josh Bailey. Join us live and exclusive from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock, including Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United. Premier League action. Football Live will be around the grounds, chasing the goals.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM.
If you're betting on sports this week, why not make your money go further? Sign up to NairaBet for 11 days of risk-free betting. If your bet loses, you will get your stake back as a free bet up to 2,000 Naira. All you need to do is register a new account with NairaBet today and qualify to get up to 22,000 Naira in free bets. Visit www.nairabet.com/bonus for more information. General and free bet terms apply. Must be over 18. Must be KYC approved. Must place a qualifying bet. Bet must include football, tennis or basketball markets. Welcome offer only available until Thursday, 31st of August. Please gamble responsibly.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Around the grounds, chasing the goals.
A goal that is going to blow open the title race in the Bundesliga.
Well, this wasn't supposed to happen. It's been an unbelievable day here on Football Live.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Powered by NairaBet. With Barry Swain.
Welcome back. We're off and underway at Stamford Bridge. Into the first minute, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. We'll be across with Billy Andrews in just a minute. Let's quickly head to the game that we're covering in Austria. No goals in this game for Leon Jones there, the Red Bull Arena. But my goodness me, Salzburg, the reigning champions. They've won it the last 10 years. They're taking on Austria Vienna, and they really should have been ahead, shouldn't they?
Yeah, reigning champions, and they're reigning on the Austria Vienna goal, but they just can't get that breakthrough. Rocco Simic up front, he's had 2 chances, but the latest chance came for Karim Konate, an absolute live wire up front for Salzburg. He was one-on-one with the keeper. He tried to slot it into the bottom right corner, but it was saved well by the Vienna keeper. And Salzburg, it's just a matter of time before they get that breakthrough, I think.
Thank you very much for that, Leon. Let's head to Stamford Bridge, shall we? Billy Andrews is our man watching the game between Chelsea and Liverpool. Early stages, not too much to talk about so far, but it's been a fairly frantic opening minute or so, hasn't it?
Yeah, been a fairly frantic opening minute or so, mainly Liverpool attacking. There's been a few touches for the new man Axel Disasi, who joined this side of Chelsea's last pre-season match, so this is his proverbial throwing in at the deep end against Liverpool. And it is worth remembering, of course, these two teams are two teams that have won the Champions League in the last 5 seasons. So they're good teams, you know, they have the history, and it's going to be an interesting one as Nicholas Jackson gets his first touches of the ball in a Chelsea shirt in the Premier League. And we did have a round of applause for John Hollins at the start of this game Of course, John Hollins played for Chelsea, a superstar of the 70s, and Chelsea are going to need something like that this season if they're going to get back into the top four, as Mohamed Salah torments Conor Gallagher, and the referee tells Gallagher to get back to his feet. So 2 minutes gone at Stamford Bridge. It's quite a chaotic opening, let's say that, but it's still Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0.
Thank you very much, Billy. John Hollins, former Chelsea legend, played towards the end of his career actually for Arsenal quite a bit. Very nice guy as well, good gentleman. Had a good managerial career as well, one of the gentlemen of the game, and a true legend of both Chelsea and Arsenal, sadly passing away in the summer months. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. They're both looking to get off to the best possible start. That would be 3 points this afternoon for either Chelsea or Liverpool. That's exactly what happened last night in the late kick-off. Newcastle United 5, Aston Villa 1, and 2 of those goals were scored by this man, Alexander Isak.
Had some trouble last season, so I feel good now. Got a good start, me and the team. So hopefully I can stay fit and keep going this way. I think it's the first game of the season, so we really need to take one game at a time. So now we just look at City, and that's all we can focus on. Players we brought in fit very well with this team. You see the speed and how dangerous we can be in counter attacks, and so I think the additions has been good so far, and it's probably only going to get better.
Well, there you have it. That's the thoughts of Alexander Isak. 2 goals for him last night. Weren't Newcastle United looking good? 5-1. Well, I heard a lot of people talking afterwards about the game. Let's not beat about the bush here, because Villa have got a lot of injuries at the moment, and seeing so early in the game Tyrone Mings stretch it off certainly did not help their situation. And so Newcastle United certainly showing no mercy on Aston Villa last night. Liverpool probably having just about the edge at the moment in the game at Stamford Bridge. Let's head back to our reporter on this game, Billy Andrews. It's been 100 miles an hour. Let's say Liverpool probably slightly edging it from what I've seen.
Yeah, Liverpool slightly edging it. We have seen a yellow card in the opening 4 minutes for Carney Chukwuemeka, and it's that word again, chaotic. A ball hooked up towards Ben Chilwell. He headed it, but he caught it with the top of his head, so it went up in the air. Ibrahima Konate went for it, as did Carney Chukwuemeka. Completely missed the ball, even though he only had eyes for it, and caught Konate in the chest. So yellow card for the young Englishman for Chelsea. 87 minutes of stepping on eggshells, really, in this game. And seeing as we do like a stat on Football Live, Mohamed Salah, when he's played for Liverpool, has always scored on the opening game of the season. So that's one for the betters amongst you. And Luis Diaz has had a few bright moments as well. And Trent Alexander-Arnold is dropping into that midfield, not playing at right back so far when Liverpool are on the ball. But 6 minutes gone, Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0.
Thank you very much, Billy. Another big away day victory in Germany in the DFB Pokal Cup, or whatever it's called. It's Lokomotiv Leipzig 0, Eintracht Frankfurt 7. Eric Bimbe has just scored that 7th goal in stoppage time. We had some 9s, 8s and 7s yesterday. Another one looking like it's unfolding today. Genk are ahead at Cercle Brugge in the Belgium Pro League. Wallerson scoring that goal deep into the second half. There's around about 15 minutes left. Let's head back to Billy Andrews. Chelsea against Liverpool, and a big chance for Liverpool, Billy Andrews.
Yeah, big chance for the new man, Dominic Szoboszlai. A fantastic, mazy slaloming run through Levi Colwill and Thiago Silva and Conor Gallagher. Lovely close touch control from a man who got 6 goals and 8 assists for Leipzig last season. And just as I was about to pull the trigger, Diogo Jota nipped in and took it off of his boot, and it went wide and out for a goal kick. But just a glimpse of what the Hungarian maestro can do for Liverpool, the dangers that he possesses. You won't be too happy with Diogo Jota, who has been on fine form in pre-season and is keeping Darwin Núñez out of the team at the moment. But just under 7 minutes gone, still Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0.
No goals to tell you about in the Premier League so far. I can tell you that Well, earlier on today, if you just joined us here on Football Live, it finished Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Very exciting game that was too. Brentford were behind, then they were ahead. Tottenham came back to equalise in stoppage time at the end of the first half. No more goals in the second half, and that's how it all panned out.
You are listening to Football Live, powered by NairaBet, with Barry Swain.
Well, in Spain, our feature game is Celta Vigo against Osasuna. Watching this one for us is Ash Sandiford. Now, Osasuna ahead. They could have been further ahead, couldn't they, Ash?
Yeah, they should have been further ahead. They've had a couple of chances, to be honest with you. Still Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 1. And there was a chance, Ruben Garcia got brought down by Unai Nunes just outside the 18-yard box. So Garcia decided to step up and take the free kick. It should have been a cross, really, but he surprised the goalkeeper and struck it as hard as he could, nearly winning to the top corner. But in the end, the goalkeeper just parried it over the bar. And like I said, this Garcia, Ruben Garcia, he is all over everything at the moment through Osasuna. He's taken a corner, and the big 6'4" Alejandro Catena has headed the ball into the ground. It's just gone over the crossbar. So two great chances for Osasuna. They should be 2-0 up. Rafa Benitez, the former Liverpool and Newcastle manager, will be very, very disappointed in his start to his first game in La Liga. But as it stands, currently Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 1, 40 minutes in.
Thank you very much, Ash. Mo Salah is 2.40 to score any time, subject to change today. Of course, that was mentioned by Billy Andrews just a couple of minutes ago, that he always scores on the opening day of the football season. Let's head back, shall we, to Billy Andrews on cue. 9 minutes gone in the game between Chelsea and Liverpool at Stamford Bridge on the opening weekend of the football season. Still no goals. How's it shaping up for you, Billy?
Yeah, still no goals. A nice bit of attitude, if you will, character from Nicholas Jackson, fronting up to both Ibrahima Konate and Diogo Jota. Lovely bit of synergy between Ibrahima Konate and Dominic Szoboszlai. Konate was penned in between Chilwell and Jackson, managed to roll it through the legs of Ben Chilwell to Dominic Szoboszlai, who was then fouled by Jackson, who was chasing back two former Leipzig players, of course. But Chelsea have a corner now, just one off of Van Dijk by Reece James, who struggling to get into the game, but that could be true of most Chelsea players. Enzo Fernandez out to take this one, but just before we reach the 10-minute mark, it's still 0-0 at Stamford Bridge.
Chelsea's odds are just dropped with NairaBet. 3.4 for the victory, 3.6 for the draw, 2.1 for the Liverpool victory based on their solid start to the Stamford Bridge meeting this afternoon. We'll be back with Billy very, very shortly. A quick reminder elsewhere this afternoon, Club Brugge still in command in that game in the last 10 minutes. Eupen 0, Club Brugge 5. No real excitement from the games in Scotland. Heart of Midlothian 0, Kilmarnock 0 at Tynecastle, and at Fir Park it's Motherwell 1, Hibernian 0. Hibernian, if they can avoid a 2-goal defeat this week against Luzerne, would set up an all-British playoff in the Europa League against Aston Villa. So that would be quite some fixture if that comes off. But they've still got work to do in Switzerland, Hibs, and they are they're losing away from home at Motherwell this afternoon. I wonder if they've got one eye on that Villa tie, and they need to hold out there. Let's quickly go back to Spain. Ash Sandiford, a chance for an equaliser for Celta Vigo.
Yeah, big chance for Celta Vigo, to be honest with you. He should have really put this away. It was a good little bit of attacking play from Celta Vigo in the end, with Ferran Beltran just breaking down the attack from Osasuna, and he just slipped it in on the left-hand side to Jürgen Larsson. And Jürgen Larsson, near enough, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, struck it with his left foot. Goalkeeper went nowhere near it, and it just went past the post. To be honest with you, when you're in one-on-one situations, you should really put it in the back of the net. So Rafa Benitez, again, will be not happy. But as it stands, Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 1.
Thanks, Ash. At Stamford Bridge, we're still waiting on that first goal, but my goodness me, we've come very, very close to an opening goal for Liverpool, who, Billy Andrews, have rattled the crossbar.
Yeah, it's that Egyptian prince, Mohamed Salah, and it started actually in their own box. Chelsea had a fantastic chance through Enzo Fernandez. It was a fantastic block by Virgil van Dijk, and the ball came to Luis Diaz. He found the Dutchman Cody Gakpo. Gakpo cut into the box, looked like he was going to shoot himself, passed it just behind Mohamed Salah, who had to take a touch out wide, and with his weaker right foot, bent it round Thiago Silva, out of the reach of Sanchez, and just rattled that crossbar, to the relief, I must say, of everyone in blue inside Stamford Bridge. But Liverpool very much on top. Chelsea reduced to a few chances on the counter. And it is that word of the day, chaotic at Stamford Bridge, but 13 minutes gone, it's still 0-0.
Anything, Billy, to encourage Chelsea fans looking for a plus point from this afternoon's game? I know it's still 0-0, they're not losing, but anything to encourage them? Any pluses?
The movement of Nicholas Jackson, the runs from further back of Carney Chukwuemeka as well, is what's causing the space for Jackson to get into, but Van Dijk and Konate are just too good at the back at the moment in this opening 15 minutes. So there are reasons to be hopeful for the season ahead, but I think this game, if Liverpool keep playing the way they are, might just be a bridge too far.
Bridge too far at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0, 13 and a half, nearly 14 minutes gone. 3.4 for the Chelsea victory, 2.15 for the Liverpool victory. Naira bet latest odds subject to change, 3.6 subject to change for the draw. We'll be back with Billy Andrews in just a few moments time. So Liverpool hitting the crossbar and they are making all the running. But there's a familiar look about the scoreline, isn't there? Chelsea 0, Liverpool 0. But me and Billy, we think there's going to be goals. And I'm pretty certain, having watched this in the corner of my eye, I think there will be goals in the match this afternoon between Liverpool and Chelsea, or Chelsea and Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Closing embers in the Belgian League, 5-0 to Club Brugge in our feature game. Still no goals in Portugal to bring you between Rio Ave and Chavez. In Spain, half-time whistle is just about to blow. Celta Vigo are 1-0 down at home to Osasuna. Still goalless in Austria. The champions Salzburg have been dominating but without finding the back of the net. And Austria Vienna will be happy if they can go in 0-0 at half-time. If they can get anything from that game, who knows. Our feature game is France. Saw some late drama. Toulouse winning 2-1 at Nantes, who only just stayed up last season. Salah 5.5 to score the first with Naira bet as of now, subject to change. That odds, of course, after he rattled the crossbar just a few minutes ago. But Chelsea looking to get on the attack as I glance at the game in the corner of my eye, and we'll be back with Billy Andrews in just a few minutes' time. A quick reminder that the football action for the weekend is far from done. Tonight, Lyon kick off their Ligue 1 campaign in France against Strasbourg away. In Spain, the champions Barcelona start the defence of their La Liga title with a trip to Getafe. And in that same league, Villarreal later on this afternoon kick off against Real Betis. That should be a good game as well. Monday night, well, there's more action there. We'll hear some more about Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers in a short while. That's the Premier League game on Monday night, and that's at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves, their new manager Gary O'Neill's first match in charge of Wolves. I don't think he's even taken charge of a friendly match, so it's going to be a baptism of fire for him. He'll be hoping that Wolves can do better than they did on the last game of last season when they lost 5-0 at Arsenal. In Spain, Atletico Madrid host Granada tomorrow. Benfica start their campaign in Portugal in the Primera Liga away at Boavista. So that's what's coming up tonight. And tomorrow night, quick reminder, Danny Olmo's hat-trick saw Leipzig beat Bayern Munich 3-0 in the Allianz Arena last night in the German Super Cup. It was Harry Kane's debut. All eyes on Harry Kane, but Danny Olmo stole the headlines for the hat-trick. Kane coming on with 27 minutes to go to make his Bayern debut, but it wasn't a memorable one. And after all those years waiting for a trophy at Spurs, we thought he was only going to wait for a few hours for getting one at Bayern Munich, but he missed out last night because it's Leipzig that shocked Bayern and won by 3-0 at the Allianz Arena. OK, let's head back to Stamford Bridge because Billy Andrews, has been a really good chance in this game for Chelsea.
Yeah, fantastic chance for Chelsea. The ball with Sterling, he managed to do Managed a fantastic 1-2 with Reece James. Got the ball back to James, who had the pace to beat Andy Robertson. And then he crossed it into the box, and Nicholas Jackson just got his toe to it, but Alisson flew out as he does. Liverpool started to grow back into this game. Mo Salah had a good chance. He was played in by Szoboszlai, but his touch let him down, and Zazazi was able to clear the ball away. But just before the 18-minute mark, Chelsea coming back into this game, still 0-0.
Thank you very much, Billy. Half-time whistle has gone in the game between Celta Vigo and Osasuna. 1-0 there to Osasuna. No sooner than we leave Stamford Bridge, and I can tell you there has been an opening goal.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
It's Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1. And we can go across to Billy Andrews, who can tell us all about the Liverpool opener.
Yeah, just as Chelsea were starting to come back into this game, it's Luis Diaz that's hit them with a sucker punch, really. Fantastic build-up from the back. It started with Alisson. It's found its way to McAllister. McAllister found Mohamed Salah, and Salah put a fantastic ball in. It beat Thiago Silva. It beat Dizazi, I should say, and it beat Thiago Silva. And there is Luis Diaz to slide it past Sanchez to give Liverpool what is a deserved lead. He didn't get the goal this time, Salah, but he has got an assist for Luis Diaz. Fully deserved. 19 minutes gone at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1.
Hey, Billy, he might not have got the goal, but he done all the hard work. That was a brilliant ball from Mo Salah into the box, through that neat little gap. It's one that's difficult to play, but you've got to get the pace on it. Absolutely fine. It was a wonderful through ball, and Luis Diaz was there just to do the rest. His part was the easy bit. It makes all the plaudits, but really, that was all about Mo Salah's brilliance, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you or I could have scored that one, Barry. It was just put on a plate for Luis Diaz by Mohamed Salah, showing his quality 20 minutes into his first game of the season. And like I say, you have to get the pace, you have to get the power just right, so that when Luis Diaz ghosts in behind Axel Dizazi, he's got a clean shot at goal against Sanchez, and there's nothing the keeper could have done about it. Chelsea now have to recompose. They are getting some joy down that right hand side. Robertson can't deal with the pace of Sterling and Reece James, but Jurgen Klopp, the happier of the managers midway through this first half. It says 1-0 to the away side.
1-0 to the away side indeed. Thank you very much, Billy. We'll be back there very soon at Stamford Bridge. We'll be heading back to the Brilla FM studios in just a minute or two as Chilwell goes tumbling down in the penalty area for Chelsea. He thought he was pushed in the back, has a long look at the referee, who quickly indicates to the Chelsea wing-back to get up. Konate certainly stuck out an arm and pushed him in the back, but there was not enough there in the eyes of the referee. I wonder if there's enough there in the eyes of VAR, because the first push was from Alexander-Arnold, the second from Konate. I can tell you VAR are not even having a look at it, so it's still 1-0 to Liverpool there. Here on Brilla FM this afternoon, Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. Plenty of goals in the first half in that game until it's finished Eupen 0, Club Brugge 5. We'll get a report on that one after the break that's coming up in just a few moments of time. We'll also keep you up to date with what's happening in games in France, in Portugal, in Austria and in Spain, as well as what we've covered already in the Dutch Eredivisie. But for now, we're going to pass you back to our good friend Tony in the Brilla FM studios. Tony, over to you.
This is a commercial break exclusive to Nigeria and Africa alone. But don't worry, Football Live will be back very, very shortly.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
This is Football Live.
And you could not have scripted this.
It's crazy, absolutely insane.
Oh my dearie me. I don't want to laugh or cry.
It's a show that's packed to the brim.
Oh my word, what is going on here? An unbelievable day here on Football Live.
Means there's action everywhere you look.
Great entertainment.
That's fantastic. Wow, just wow.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Powered by NairaBet. With Barry Swain. The goals. Powered by NairaBet.
Take it easy. It's not a goal at Stamford Bridge, but we will be across to Billy Andrews, who can tell us about some chances since we were last across with him. Liverpool leading at Chelsea by 1-0. There has been a goal in our featured game in the Portuguese Primeira Liga. Which way has it gone? Let's go and find out, shall we? Andrew Bonacore.
Well, those waves and waves of pressure from Rio Ave have finally seen a goal for them. It's now Rio Ave 1, Chaves 0. The goal came courtesy of a penalty. It was a foul by Chaves right back Cilia on Fabio Ronaldo as he shot. The shot hit the bar with what seemed to be an open goal, but it took about 5 minutes for the VAR and then the referee review before the penalty was given. Leonardo Ruiz, who was involved in that incident earlier on, that saw the red card, stepped up, coolly slotted it home to make it Rio Ave 1, Chaves 0.
Thank you very much, Andrew. So a goal finally in that game. Oh my goodness me. There's another goal at Stamford Bridge.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Well, we've been speaking in the last half hour about Mo Salah and his ability to score on the first day of the season, and it looks like he's done it again. However, there is a check for VAR and offside. There's going to be an anxious wait on this one, but let's go across and hear about the goal. However, Billy, we are still waiting for VAR to confirm it, but tell us about the goal.
Yeah, we are waiting for VAR to confirm it. I will say from my monitor, it does just look offside, but it is an exceptional example of what Alexander-Arnold can do when he plays in midfield. It's a fantastic cutting ball between the midfield and the defensive line of Chelsea, between Enzo Fernandez and Levi Colwill, and Mo Salah just goes in behind Colwill, probably went a touch too early, but it's a lovely, calm, composed finish, just a little dink over the top of Sanchez. I will tell you about a couple of chances beforehand while this VAR check is going on. Nicholas Jackson had another one, fantastic chance, close control, but shot was just skewed wide. Second lowest shot conversion in the league last year, Chelsea, and I can tell you that goal has been disallowed. So it is only 1-0. Mohamed Salah still hasn't scored in this game just yet, but if he keeps getting into those positions this afternoon, he definitely will get at least another chance to score and keep his record of scoring on the opening day of each season alive. And the other chance fell for Liverpool. Again, it fell to Mohamed Salah. They had a 3-on-2 on a counter-attack against Chelsea. It was a poor pass to Salah from Luis Diaz, I must say. And his shot was blocked by Thiago Silva. There is life in the old dog just yet, but half an hour gone. It's still Chelsea 0, Liverpool 1.
Hey, Billy, while you're on, I've got to talk haircuts. Not mine or yours, obviously. But what's happened to Trent Alexander-Arnold? It's like all the locks have gone, and it's just a normal haircut now. He does look different, doesn't he? But it's the same player. By the way, Mo Salah, same old, same old. You can't take the hair away from Mo Salah, can you?
No, you can't take away the iconic afro look from Mohamed Salah. But yeah, Trent's ditched the locks. He's gone for that cropped look that we saw when he made his debut all those years ago. I will just say one thing. It's a bad day to be a right back today, because for Liverpool's opening goal, Reece James, he had Luis Diaz, and the minute Luis Diaz set off, Reece James fell asleep and he lost him completely. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, not really playing at right back at all. He's popped up everywhere but right back, which is causing Konate all sorts of issues up against Nicholas Jackson. But we'll see how that progresses. A free kick now, and some heated words between Enzo Fernandez and Diogo Jota. Enzo looked like he put his head in towards Jota there, so he's going to get a yellow for that. Diogo Jota's been given a yellow, so some fire in the game at Stamford Bridge. Those two have got to be careful, particularly Enzo Fernandez, who is that tough tackling midfielder for Chelsea, but still only 0-0. Sorry, 1-0 to the away side.
Caught me for a second there, Billy. 1.5 goals in the first half with NairaBet is 2.10, subject to change, of course. Liverpool leading by 1-0 there. The second goal ruled out. They've hit the crossbar as well. They are very much in control of that game. Of course, there's still a long way to go for you Chelsea fans out there amongst the listeners on Brilla FM and Football Live this afternoon. Still a long way to go, but Mauricio Pochettino's side having to make do with second best. Liverpool looking good at the moment. And, well, let's head across for a half-time report in our game in Austria. Leon Jones is watching Salzburg against Austria Vienna.
Yeah, Salzburg will be disappointed that they didn't manage to break the deadlock, but it has been a great half for them. They've had over 60% possession. They've had 4 clear chances on goal and two chances that have struck the crossbar. And Salzburg is such a dominant first half from them, one of the most dominant I've seen, but it just didn't manage to get a goal. So in this second half, that'll be the aim. Can Konate or Amankwa get it? Well, we'll soon find out in the next 5 minutes, but Salzburg, they'll be happy with their half. They just want to get a goal in the second. So as it stands here at the Red Bull Arena, RB Salzburg 0, Austria Vienna 0.
11 minutes to go in the first half at Stamford Bridge, and it's still Liverpool leading by a goal to nil. Hit the bar, goal disallowed by VAR. Chelsea hanging on in there a little bit, and we'll be back with Billy in just a few moments' time. Liverpool to keep a clean sheet is 3.60, subject to change, of course, as always. These are live odds with Naira Bet at the moment. That sounds like a good bet. They're all over Chelsea at the moment. 3.6, subject to change for Liverpool to keep a clean sheet this afternoon. Now, let's quickly turn our attention to some transfer gossip, and we get all of our news here from our reliable source, our Football Live senior correspondent, Russ Vernon. He's always on the pulse. If anything's happening, he is right across it. He is our transfer guru, our expert, and he tells us that Kylian Mbappe is back in contact with PSG, and an extension to his contract is now a possibility. Meanwhile, Neymar is now one step away from a move to Saudi Arabia. PSG and Al Hilal have agreed a fee. After 6 years in Paris, the Brazilian is very close to leaving. Al Hilal are trying to compete with Marco Verratti and Neymar in that same transfer. They want both of those PSG stars to join. Monaco, they will compete for Denis Zakaria, and a deal that's expected to come off in the next 24 hours. 20 million euros for the Juventus man. Dimitri Payet to Vasco da Gama looks like the done deal for the Frenchman, and a deal worth a deal up until 2025. West Ham's bid for Harry Maguire looks like it might be stalling, and he might well be staying at Manchester United after all. If West Ham lose out, they will turn their attentions to Odilon Kosanote, who is the Bayer Leverkusen defender in the Bundesliga. £30 million move is on the cards there. And, well, yeah, let's just see. Let's run through the results that we've had so far. Feyenoord 0, Fortuna Sittard 0 in our early match in the Eredivisie. The champions Feyenoord off to a disappointing start, down to 10 men for most of that game as well. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2 in the Premier League, of course. Nantes 1, Toulouse 2. It's just finished. Eupen 0, Club Brugge 5. Portugal, it's Rio Ave 1, Chavez 0. 73 minutes gone there. Finally got a goal for Andrew Bonacore. Spain, there has been the goal, as we spoke earlier, Osasuna. They're into the second half there. Talking of goals.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
If you've got anything breakable around you and there's a Chelsea fan within close proximity, hold that breakable object right now, because Chelsea have equalised. A goal for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They were 1-0 down. Liverpool have hit the crossbar. They've had a goal ruled out marginally. Mo Salah offside. And they have gone and equalised Chelsea. Let's go to Billy Andrews at Stamford Bridge, who could tell us all about that Chelsea equaliser.
Yeah, relief all around Stamford Bridge. It's the man on his debut, Axel Disasi, and it's come from a corner. The ball was reworked a couple times, actually, out to Enzo Fernandez the first time, then out to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling put the ball in. It was cleared by Konate, headed back in by Ben Chilwell. Liverpool defence sort of fell asleep. No one picked up Axel Disasi. In fact, it's Trent Alexander-Arnold's man that he wasn't picking up. And there is Axel Disasi to ghost in front of Trent Alexander-Arnold and volley the ball in past Alisson. The corner actually came from a lovely bit of work from Raheem Sterling. He got past Andy Robertson, got down to the byline, fired it across goal, beat Alisson, and Alexander-Arnold didn't know where it was going, just hooked it over his own net. And now, at Stamford Bridge, the man on his debut, Dizazi, it's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
Well, thank you very much for that, Billy. We'll be going for a full-time report in just a few moments' time in that game in Belgium, but hold your horses, because the moment we left Billy Andrews, the ball was rolled in the back of the net at Stamford Bridge.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
My goodness me, what's happening? Chelsea have gone and scored another goal. It's now Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, and Chelsea have scored 2 goals in as many minutes, and they've carved open Liverpool. I have to say, I'm just looking at the replay. Ben Chilwell goes through, rounds the goalkeeper Alisson, slots it into the net. He's off celebrating. VAR, I think, are going to disallow this. Let's go back to Billy Andrews. Billy, we're keeping you busy this afternoon. VAR having a look at this one. Great finish, but I don't think it's going to count, is it?
Yeah, great finish, and the lines are being brought out once again, those lines we all know and love. But it could be a case of a quick 1-2 from Chelsea. Ben Chilwell again, a lack of defensive awareness from the back four. Alisson furious with Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk, and it's that case of no defensive midfielder for Liverpool. The minute Cody Gakpo and McAllister lose that ball, they're through on the back four, Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez plays the ball in to Ben Chilwell, but unfortunately, Chelsea fans, those lines have come out, and he is probably a good half a foot offside. Trent Alexander-Arnold again. We're seeing all the good side of his attacking play, all the bad side of his lack of defensive awareness this afternoon. Luckily, the offside flag and VAR have spared him some blushes this time, but Chelsea, with 6 minutes to go till half-time, won't want that half-time break to come. They're on top at the moment now, but it's still only at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
It's a strange old game, isn't it, Billy? I mean, Liverpool, 5 minutes ago, total control. And there was an element in the back of my mind saying, are they going to regret that goal that was marginally offside? Are they going to regret hitting that bar? But they scored in between, didn't they? But they were looking good. They were looking comfortable. We were talking about Chelsea second best in every department. And then suddenly, boom, like a flick of a light switch, they've gone and scored 2 goals. OK, the second one, it was offside. It was marginal, both of them, but I think they're both, well, they are. That's what VAR are there for. But this really is a game that just keeps on giving. I can see a lot more goals being scored in this game.
Yeah, we're definitely not getting a 0-0 this time. But in this modern world of football where we talk about inverted fullbacks and things like that, Chelsea set up under Mauricio Pochettino is a fantastic advert for wing-backs. For having wide players that can overlap past a forward player, or having wide players that can hold width, because Trent Alexander-Arnold dropping into midfield, Konate's not coming out to cover. So you're not getting that defensive cover you would have, say, if you had a traditional fullback, which Trent Alexander-Arnold clearly struggles to do, which is why he's being moved into midfield. So does Jurgen Klopp go back in and try and buy one, as Salah has an effort just well caught by Sanchez diving to his left? So this could go anyway. It could go either way. I'm excited for the rest of this match, but it's still only 1-1 at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, still an hour of this show to go. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. In terms of goals disallowed by VAR, it's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Let's head back to a game that's probably finished. All the team players of both teams have probably showered and gone home now. And I do apologise for Cam Wilson. We keep going to go to him, and then something happens at Stamford Bridge. But Cam, the final whistle is long gone, and it was a comfortable afternoon for Club Brugge.
Yeah, absolutely. They battered Eupen, and it's huge for them because they now got to second in the table. That puts them, one of the top 3 seeds for the playoffs, which is going to be huge for them. They're going to want to go further in the championship rounds than they did last season, not even getting to the final stages. And Eupen, they cause their own problems. The idea of playing out from the back is all fine as long as you've got the quality and you're not panicking at the back, and that's what they kept doing, giving away chances, and their defending and set pieces were abysmal, and they deserve to lose. Thanks, Barry.
Excellent. Thank you very much for those reports this afternoon. Plenty of goals there for Cam Wilson at the Koekstadion in Belgium. Eupen 0, Club Brugge 5. Still 1-1 in the game between Chelsea and Liverpool. 2.5 minutes plus, no doubt, loads of stoppage time to be added on. and it's 1-1 in that game, and you just can't take your eyes off it at the moment. It has been a brilliant afternoon of football, and I can tell you Chelsea have just had another really big chance, which we will be telling you about when we go back to Billy in just a few moments' time.
You are listening to Football Live, live and exclusive on Brila FM.
So, 1-1, but Chelsea have come from nowhere and suddenly flipped this game on its head, and Mauricio Pochettino and Jurgen Klopp both standing on the edge of their technical areas. They embraced one another before kick-off like they were best buddies, and they were down the pub last night together. But it's been a really, really entertaining game. Let's head back, shall we, to Billy Andrews. And I mentioned, I used the term flick like a light switch. It really has quite literally been a flick of the light switch to turn it from one way to the other this game. But you can't take your eyes off of it, can you?
You can't look away for a second at Stamford Bridge, and it should have been 2-1 to Chelsea. It should have been a double debut delight. Nicholas Jackson had a fantastic chance. The ball, again, it's those wing backs for Chelsea. Reece James this time causing Andy Robertson all sorts of issues. Played another fantastic 1-2 with Raheem Sterling. Ghosted past Andy Robertson like he wasn't even there. Played a fantastic ball in, low, hard to Nicholas Jackson, whose sweeping effort is high and over Alisson's bar, with Konate coming in to, sliding in to try and get a block, but he got nowhere near it. And it is a flick of a light switch. One touch play here, one touch play from everyone. Even Thiago Silva had a few little flicks earlier on in the half, but Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson are playing so narrow or so high that Ben Chilwell and Reece James have complete freedom at Stamford Bridge to get these balls in, to get these runs going. And Jurgen Klopp has to change something. He has to either go to a back five, try and bring perhaps Joel Matip on for one of the centre midfielders. It's not going very well for Liverpool since that Mo Salah offside goal. It's been all Chelsea. But 1 minute before we go into what will be quite a few minutes of added time, it's still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, 6 minutes, Billy, have just been held up. 5 shots for Chelsea, 6 shots for Liverpool, 2 on target from Chelsea, 1 from Liverpool. 63% possession from Chelsea. They've had the better of the possession in the first half. It is 1-1, and it is very, very entertaining football being played in the Premier League on the opening weekend of the season at Stamford Bridge. We'll be back to Billy, no doubt, before half-time. If not before half-time, then at half-time.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Austria Vienna went in 0-0 at half-time in the Austrian Bundesliga away at the champions Salzburg, and they must have thought, we're halfway there, let's keep it tight, let's keep doing what we're doing. But 10 minutes into the second half, the champions have found the breakthrough. And to tell us all about that goal at the Red Bull Arena, here's Leon Jones.
Yeah, brilliant goal for Salzburg, and it's that young superstar Ivorian, it's Konate, but it wasn't him who's made the goal. Brilliant piece of play in the build-up there by Bidstrup. He signed just recently this summer from Brentford, and then it came to Kjaergaard, ran down the right-hand side, played it into the box, and it wasn't the Ivorian, sorry, it was actually the Ghanaian. It was Forsen Amankwa who finished it, not Konate, but those two African superstars have been brilliant today, and Forsen is the one who's got the goal. Salzburg, they've deserved that. They've been utterly dominating this game, and their first chance in the second half, they've taken it with aplomb. It's Salzburg 1, Austria Vienna 0.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Leon. Currently, Chelsea 3.2, Liverpool 2.6, 2.88 for the draw at Stamford Bridge. Those odds are, of course, as always, from NairaBet, subject to change. But the odds for Liverpool running away with that 1-0 lead have suddenly diminished and gone out the window since that Chelsea equaliser. Both teams have had a goal narrowly disallowed, but correctly disallowed by the most marginal of distances on offside. That's what VAR is good at. There's other aspects to the VAR which people are not so enamoured with, but I tell you what, VAR, excellent advert for them this afternoon so far at Stamford Bridge, but there's still time for VAR to make all the wrong headlines. Don't worry about that. Right, okay, this is where we are at the moment. Liverpool 1-1, 2-2 draw, another score draw in London earlier on between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur, and well, that was a game of plenty of goals, all in the first half, those goals. Let's hope that there's more to come, not just all in the first half here. Jota is down with a knee injury at the moment, by the way, so there's a break in play in the game at Stamford Bridge. And yeah, in the French league, Rennes have gone 2-1 up on Metz, thanks to a goal from Amine Gouiri early in the second half. Let's head back to Billy Andrews, shall we? We've just seen a clash that has left Diogo Jota nursing a bit of a knee injury. They're strapping him up. He looks like he's going to be okay to carry on, but crunching challenge, and it's been physical but fair so far, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, physical and fair, and this isn't like the Urian Timber or Tyrone Mings knee injuries that we saw yesterday. It was a clash between him and Levi Colwill. Fantastic physical battle between him and Colwill. Good crunching challenge for the ball. He won the ball, Colwill, completely fair. Nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, those do tend to hurt when he wasn't sure the pass was for him, Jota, so he was a bit late to the ball, and they both made contact with the ball at the same time, but Colwill more strength behind the tackle. Just left Jota in a heap on the floor, so nothing malicious. Jota will be fine to carry on, and it just gives Jurgen Klopp a few seconds or a couple minutes to get some instructions to his players that they can't keep being exposed by the wing backs for Chelsea, because otherwise they will lose this game. Something's got to change in the defensive part for Liverpool, but we've seen that for the last 12 months. They've been incredibly easy to expose at times.
Thank you, Billy. Liverpool just giving away a free kick on the corner edge of their own penalty area, which could be very dangerous. A foul on Enzo Fernandez. I can tell you Jota is now running back onto the field. We'll be back with Billy. There might yet be another twist in the tail before half-time. Let's head back to the game in Portugal, shall we? Let's catch up with Andrew Bonacore. He's at the Estadio de Arcos, where Rio Ave are taking on Chaves. Last time we were across there, it was 1-0 to the home side against the 10 men, who are currently 101.00 for the win, according to Naira Bat. That's how outside they are. Is that a fair reflection, Andrew, would you say?
Yes, absolutely nothing really going forward from Chaves. It's been a much better second half. It's still Rio Ave 1, Chaves 0. We had that Leonardo Ruiz penalty to make it 1-0. And let's say that the Chaves goal has seen plenty of action, some good saves from Hugo Sousa. But as I say, nothing at all going forward from Chaves. Nwakali has been reduced to a very, very defensive role after looking very promising going forward in the early stages of the match. But as you say, Chaves are down to 10 men, and that really has set the tone for the game. We're now down to the final couple of minutes, just waiting for the amount of added time in this game. We have had a couple of VAR reviews, so there could be a bit of that. But we'll have to see what is to remain of this game. But at the moment, it's still Rio Ave 1, Chaves 0.
6 minutes of injury time at Stamford Bridge have passed us by, but Anthony Taylor, the referee, has chosen that this first half, which has been exhilarating and entertaining, will carry on all the way through beyond those 6 minutes. The sun is just starting to shine on the pitch down at Stamford Bridge, and it's 1-1 at half-time. Let's head back to Andrew Bonacore. I know we've only just said goodbye to him, but Andrew, coming back to you, a goal for Chaves, but it's been disallowed.
Yeah, extraordinary. It was really Chaves' first attacking attempt of the second half. The ball clipped in beautifully for Paulo Victor, who snuck ahead of the keeper, just glided his header past the keeper into the untended goal. But the female assistant referee on the far side instantly put up the flag. And not even a need for a VAR check. It was a good 2 or 3 feet offside. So some attacking intent finally as we go into injury time. but it still remains Rio Ave 1, Chavez 0.
So 1-0 there late on. They're waiting for the final whistle in that game. I can tell you the half-time whistle at Stamford Bridge has blown. It is Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. And Billy Andrews, it's been, after all those 0-0 draws between these two, we did say this has got to be a bit better. We think this is going to be a bit better. And being experts that we are, we're absolutely right, weren't we?
Yeah, a pat on the back for me and for you for calling that it wasn't going to be another 0-0. But it is that word that we used a lot with the opening exchanges, is chaotic. It doesn't seem to have any real settle to this game. One team has a go and they lose the ball, and then the other team has a go and loses the ball. And the first goal came about, fantastic, expert precision pass from Mohamed Salah in between Levi Colwill and Thiago Silva. Zazie on his debut couldn't pick up Luis Diaz. He was lost by the new captain Reece James, who didn't track back. He slid in behind Zazie and put Liverpool 1-0 up. It looked like it was going to get even better. Another precision pass, this time from Alexander-Arnold, in between Fernandes and Colwill to Mohamed Salah, who always scores on the opening day, remember, all the way back to that 17-18 debut against Watford in a 3-3 draw. But he was marginally offside, and after that, like I said, the light switch went and Chelsea suddenly remembered how to play football again. And it was a fantastically well-worked recycling from the corner routine. The ball fell to Raheem Sterling, who put the ball in. It was headed out by Konate, headed back in by Ben Chilwell, and there was the man on his debut, Axel Disasi, to make up for his, let's call it a lapse in concentration to lose Luis Diaz, but he put Chelsea 1-1, drawing them level on his debut. And then seconds later, it looked like it got even better for Chelsea. Ben Chilwell rounding Alisson and putting into an empty net, but again, marginally offside, this time just in front of Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool have hit the bar. Nicholas Jackson's had some fantastic close touch control, and to be honest, 51 minutes absolutely flew by at Stamford Bridge, and I can't wait for the second half to start. But at half time, it's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
Coming up next Saturday on Football Live with Josh Bailey. Join us live and exclusive from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock, including Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Premier League action. Football Live will be around the grounds chasing the goals.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM.
Domestic football is back and NairaBet has you covered. Fancy a free bet to get the season underway? Place an acca with 11 plus selections and get a 500 Naira free bet every day. Football is finally flowing again and you have plenty to pick from. Whether it is the Premier League, Ligue 1, La Liga, MLS or even the Saudi Pro League, make it more interesting with NairaBet. All you need to do is head to the website and place your combi bet to get involved. Must be 18 plus, maximum of 1 free bet awarded each day. Minimum stake of 500 Naira, minimum odds of 1.2 per selection. General and free bet terms and conditions apply. Visit www.nairabet.com/bonus for full details. Please gamble responsibly.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Around the grounds, chasing the goals.
A goal that is going to blow open the title race in the Bundesliga.
Well, this wasn't supposed to happen. It's been an unbelievable day here on Football Live.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Powered by NairaBet. With Barry Swain.
It's been a busy old afternoon so far here on Football Live as we enter the final hour of the show. And there's still plenty more action, plenty more drama, and we hope plenty more goals to come in our featured games this afternoon. In particularly the game at Stamford Bridge, where it's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Both sides have had a goal disallowed. It's been an eye-catching match in which Liverpool took the lead, hit the bar before that. They had a goal disallowed. They were in total control. Suddenly, bang, bang, Chelsea scored 2 in a minute. The second one was offside, but they've had chances both ends. It's been a really good game. Billy Andrews has taken a breather. We'll be back with him when the second half begins in a few minutes' time. Let's head off to a couple of other matches that we've got covered today. First of all, let's head to Ash Sandiford, who's very kindly watching Celta Vigo against Osasuna. That's in the Spanish league, and that's at the Estadio del Beados. Ash, big chance and sub for Osasuna, I understand.
Yeah, there's been a couple of chances for Celta Vigo over the past 10 minutes or so. The centre forward, actually, Hugo Aspas, the 37-year-old veteran, has been making some darting runs in and around the Osasuna penalty area, really trying to get in behind them, flashing a couple of balls across the box. And he's actually looking to score his 197th goal for Celta Vigo, so he really is a veteran of the squad. At the moment, a couple of players have come off. The goal scorer, Ruben Garcia, has come off for Osasuna. Pablo Ibanez has come on, and also a change for the home side Celta Vigo. Carlos Perez has come off, and Miguel Rodriguez has decided to make way into the ground. So looking at this game at the moment, things are planning out very, very slowly at the moment, but Celta Vigo really do need to put the pressure on Osasuna to try and get back in this game. But currently, as it stands, 75 minutes in, Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 1.
Let's head off to Leon Jones. He can tell us about a couple of substitutions in his game in Austria. Salzburg still narrowly ahead against Austria Vienna, Leon.
Yeah, a couple of changes for Salzburg. Nene's on for Kajagard. Nene, he is the Mali international. He spent last season on loan in Belgian league and he played really, really well. And Piatkowski's come from Morgala. Morgala, he made his debut today and he looked really good at the back, but it looked like he might have broken his ankle, which is a serious injury. He'll be out for a long time. But with Salzburg, you know that they're going to churn out these young players. We've seen it in the past with Haaland and Sesko last season. And they've done it again this year with the likes of Konate and the goal scorer today, Forsen Amankwa. But yeah, it's still 1-0 here to Salzburg. And I think there could be another goal in this possibly, but I'm not feeling very hopeful.
Excellent, thanks Leon. And that's Austria Vienna chasing that game 1-0 down, but still in with a shout against the reigning champions of not just last year but the last 10 years. And there's been a couple of goals to tell you about.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
In our featured game in Spain, Osasuna have doubled their lead away at Celta Vigo. They are now 2-0 up in that game.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
And I can tell you that there's been another goal in the game in Portugal. Rio Ave have doubled their advantage against the 10 men of Chavez, although I think the VAR are having a little look at that one as well, so that might yet be disallowed. There's also a penalty in the game that we just brought a report to you on, and that's in Austria. Salzburg, who are 1-0 up on Austria Vienna with 18 minutes to go, have a penalty in that game, and maybe a goal is coming your way in that game as well. Still half time at the break in the game at Stamford Bridge. It's 1-1 between Chelsea and Liverpool. We're going to bring you extensive coverage with Billy Andrews across the whole of the second half, 45 minutes plus. One of the new rules now with the Premier League is they've gone a little bit World Cup on us like last year, where there's these stoppage times of 10, 11, 12 minutes, especially in the second half. So don't be surprised if this one goes on for an hour or so, maybe, who knows, beyond the end of the show. That's where we're at the moment, because we're 5 minutes into the last hour of the show. If they get more than 10 minutes stoppage time, then we'll miss the final whistle here on Football Live. That's the way it works out now, but don't worry, we'll be bringing you exclusive coverage with Billy Andrews on that game. First of all, let's quickly go to John Kane, who's hooking up with us again to give us the latest scores ahead of the first half. Latest odds ahead of the second half at Stamford Bridge between Liverpool and Chelsea.
The latest in-play betting odds from NairaBet.
Yes, the latest bets from NairaBet website. Of course, all these prices are subject to change. The game that we're concentrating on is Chelsea against Liverpool. It's 1-1 at half-time. For Chelsea to win, it's just gone up to 3.20. The draw has also gone up for 2.80. And Liverpool to win has gone down to 2.70. For Chelsea, have just gone down to 3.10. Other odds that might be interesting, over 3.5 goals in the game. It's 1.80. If you're interested on who's scoring next, the third goal, if you think Mo Salah will score the third goal, it's 6.50. And if you think Raheem Sterling to score the third goal, is 9.50. Of course, all these prices are subject to change here from NairaBet website.
Thank you very much, John. Right, we're just waiting to see the outcome, because there's a penalty shout in the game at Salzburg, but we're still waiting. VAR are having a little look there. Apparently no penalty. The goal has been given in the game between... which game is it? It's Rio Ave against Chavez. The goal has been given. Let's go across to Andrew Bronacore, who can tell us all about that goal.
Well, it is Rio Ave 2, Chavez 0, but sometimes, Barry, you see something happen on the football field, especially when it comes to a VAR review, and you think, I don't know anything about this game. I have absolutely no understanding of how Zé Manuel's second goal for Rio Ave has been allowed to stand. Again, it took a long time for VAR to review. The referee wasn't even called over to the screen, but for my money, he was a good... probably a yard offside when the ball was played in. There was another striker alongside him who was also offside, but he was closest to the goal. He slotted the ball home, took the goal quite nicely, but in the melee that ensued the VAR review, the Chavez manager was also red carded, and the game is now really fizzling out. But a controversial end to the game, let's say, and it's only seconds away from what looks like a victory for Rio Ave, but it's currently Rio Ave 2, Chavez 0.
And it's 2-0 to Osasuna. Ash Sandiford is watching this game in Spain. Celta Vigo now 2-0 down at home to Osasuna.
Yeah, Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 2, and it was coming, to be honest with you. The pressure from Osasuna was building throughout the last 5 or 10 minutes or so. And to be honest with you, Ruben Pena, take and bow. Absolutely fantastic. The 32-year-old Spanish right-back, he got down the right-hand side on the byline, and he cut in, then he cut back on the right-hand side. He struck a wonderful shot with his right foot, hit the left post, and it span back out to Moy Gomez. It span back out to with near enough an empty tap-in into the net. Players went wild, 2-0, and I really believe now Rafa Benitez will think that this first game in charge of Celta Vigo is going to operate as a loss. It's Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 2.
I'm watching the game in Austria, Salzburg against Austria Vienna. Leon Jones, big penalty appeal, but it's been turned away.
Yeah, big penalty appeal for Salzburg. It was originally given. Karim Konate, he went to take a shot, and then the defender, Lucas Galvao, he had his hands around him. And initially, I thought he'd clipped his standing leg, but upon review, there was no contact on the foot, and it was just a soft decision. It's a good job I'm not a referee anyway. It's Salzburg 1, Vienna 0.
Thank you very much, Leon. I can tell Chelsea and Liverpool fans, your teams are coming out for the second half, and the second half will be underway very shortly. Now, tomorrow night, the final match of the opening weekend of the season in the Premier League takes place. It's Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Old Trafford. Let's hear from the Manchester United manager, Erik ten Hag.
So, yeah, some uncertainty, you don't know. But it's not. It's up to them, and we have to look at our own. And so we prepare the game, and so that doesn't change. That makes it also easy. So I never look to an opponent. I respect them. We analyze them, but it's always about how we play against that opponent, and so it's up to us.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
Now, despite medical tests at Everton in the last 24 hours, it appears that Jack Harrison of Leeds United, relegated from the Premier League last season, is going to opt for Aston Villa on loan instead of Everton. Villa have already agreed a loan deal with Leeds by activating what is a relegation clause in his contract, so it looks like he'll be back in the Premier League, and I have to say he was one of Leeds' better players last season. It looks like he's going to opt for Villa ahead of Everton, and those two teams play each other next weekend on Saturday afternoon. Don't forget, you can catch that game right here on Football Live. Saturday afternoon we're back, and it's Josh Bailey that will be hosting the show. Now, an earlier result in the French League One, which might be of interest for you Nigerian fans. Montpellier 2, Le Havre 2. 2 goals in that game for the Nigerian striker Akor Adams. Now, he's a Nigerian under-20 international. He's 23 years of age, so he's not developed from the under-20s. 6'3", big striker, signed in the summer from the Norwegian side Lillestrøm, where he scored 23 goals in 38 appearances last season. That's not bad going. Lillestrøm certainly benefiting from him being in their side last season. In August, he joined Montpellier. He's made his debut this afternoon, the Nigerian. My goodness me, he has hit the ground running. 2 goals this afternoon. Montpellier 2, Le Havre 2. Akor Adams, the Nigerian, with both of those goals for Montpellier. Scored and conceded plenty of goals last season. Looks like they're in the same vein of form this season as well. Early stages of the second half at Stamford Bridge. Let's head back to Billy Andrews, and well, Liverpool starting on the front foot, it seems, in the early stages of the restart.
Yeah, much like they did in the first half. At Stamford Bridge, Liverpool on top at the moment, but just thinking at half-time what N'Golo Kante and Fabinho must be thinking of this match if they're watching in Saudi Arabia. Absolutely no defensive midfielders on display at all. It's absolute carnage. And well, we do love a stat on Football Live. I've got another one about Mohamed Salah, and he's been involved in 12 goals and 7 appearances on the opening day. That's 8 goals and 4 assists. But this isn't what Chelsea fans would want to see. Nicholas Jackson down holding his inside thigh after trying to block a ball forward by Virgil van Dijk. He was exciting, he was lively in the first half, but he's down holding his thigh at the moment. He's being treated by the medical staff. But this is a worry for Chelsea. He's up and running at the moment. Let's see if he can continue. He looks like he's going to be okay, but they can be nasty. As Liverpool have a corner in the opening 2 minutes. It's still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge.
Thank you very much. A couple of substitutions in our featured game in, where are we? Yeah, in Spain. I forgot where we were for a minute. Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 2 is the latest. Ash Sandiford, a couple of changes.
Yeah, Rafa Benitez, the Celta Vigo manager, decided that he wants to make a couple of changes and kind of throw the kitchen sink at Osasuna. So he's taken off the skipper, Igo Aspas, and Igo Aspas now has been replaced by Gabriel Vega, and also Jorg Larsson has also come on, and William Svedberg has come on. So a couple of changes at the moment, early exchanges, late exchanges, should I say, from Celta Vigo. They're really trying their best. They're going quite direct and pretty long at the moment to try and get themselves back into the game, but it looks like a lost cause as Rafa Benitez sits back down into his dugout, sinking his hands in his head, and I think this is going to be an opening loss for him as the tenure of the Celta Vigo manager. As it stands, 86 minutes in, Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 2.
Excellent, thank you very much, Ash. Yesterday, Everton didn't get off to the best possible start, losing at home to Fulham by 1-0. Of course, they only just stayed up the last 2 seasons, Everton. They're expected to struggle again this season. Sean Dyche has got a full season, or at least the start of a full season, to have a crack at it. And here's what Dyche had to say after that defeat against the Cottagers.
Very frustrated with the outcome because I thought we played well. I thought a lot of the things we're now looking for, working with these players to bring to a performance, were there. Especially first half, more so limited them to almost a no chance, or certainly I can't remember anything clear. So whilst creating, I don't know, I think we had 9 or 10 in the first half, and 5 of which are high quality. So the mix of the performances are right when that happens, but we've got to score a goal. Second half, much same, we let a couple of easier chances get against us, but we're still looking on the front foot, still looking to score goals, you know. One of the highest chance counts I've had since I've been here, I think, and the high quality of chance, which has always been my thing. It's not about making loads of chances, it's the quality of chances. There was lots today.
Well, quality chances, high number of chances. Still no goals though, and they lost 1-0 to Fulham, who pick up 3 points on the road, just like they did actually at the back end of last season in a 2-0 victory. They've won there now 3 times in the last 4 years, Fulham, having not won there for 30 years, so it's suddenly become a happy hunting ground, sadly for Fulham. Everton are going to be moving out next year, so that might well be their last visit to Goodison Park, depending on where the next fixture against Everton away falls next season, if of course it falls at all, because those 2 sides are both being labelled with struggles this season. I know Fulham finishing 10th last season, you would think will be okay. A couple of Salzburg substitutions. Leon Jones, if you can quickly tell us about them.
Yeah, Simic is taken off for Kamari, and Glock is on for the goal scorer Forsen, who's looked an absolute brilliant player, the Ghanaian. He's ripped Vienna apart today, and he's got the only goal of the game. And yeah, Salzburg, they're just trying to kill the game off now, go away with the 3 points and start the season off with 3 wins. It's Salzburg 1, Vienna 0.
Thank you very much. Let's head back to Stamford Bridge, and Billy Andrews, still an open game. You still get the feeling that this has got a few twists in its tail.
Yeah, there's a few twists left in this one, and it would have been one hell of a twist if Virgil van Dijk's effort had come off. The new captain for Liverpool channeling his inner striker as he picked up the ball just outside the 18-yard box on the left-hand side and bent one just over the crossbar. Ever so close. And it wasn't a thigh injury for Nicholas Jackson. I've been reliably informed by Leon that it was he actually got hit in the nuts, did Nicholas Jackson, by Virgil van Dijk, and upon replay, rather him than me. But we're 6 minutes into the second half. Liverpool very much on top. Chelsea just struggling to keep hold of the ball. But it's still only 1-1 at Stamford Bridge.
The final whistle has blown in our featured game in Portugal. Andrew Bonacore, a comfortable afternoon in the end for Rio Ave.
Yeah, very comfortable for them. After a first half that saw Chavez left-back Bruno Langa off with 2 yellow cards, Rio Ave huffed and puffed, but a lack of patience and a lack of quality blunted their ambitions, and the Chavez red and blue ball kept the score to 0-0 at half-time. Second half, similar patterns, but Rio Ave hit the bar twice in a couple of minutes, and the second of those on 64 minutes saw a VAR check for a foul on Fabio Ronaldo as he shot. The pen was given, and Leonardo Ruiz slotted the penalty home for 1-0. Hugo Souza in the Chavez goal was kept very busy for the remainder of the game, and a controversial Zé Manuel goal deep into stoppage time rounded things off at the Estadio dos Arcos. It finished Rio Ave 2, Chavez 0.
Thank you very much for those updates this afternoon and for the chat on the change of guard in the Italian job as the manager today. The breaking news earlier on, Roberto Mancini quitting as Italy manager. Looks like he's heading to Saudi Arabia, possibly as the national team manager. Let's head back to Stamford Bridge. Big moment in the game, Billy Andrews. A VAR check for a possible penalty.
Yeah, possible penalty for a handball by Nicholas Jackson. The corner from Szoboszlai is whipped into the near post. It's flicked on. Well, initially what looked like Luis Diaz, but upon replay, it's hit the hand of Nicholas Jackson, whose hands are right by his chest, which is what has saved him here, because it's not been given, and the corner that has been given as a result by Szoboszlai has been cleared by Reece James, and now Liverpool come again. But that was, well, you could put it under the moniker, if you've seen them given, as Conor Gallagher goes right through the back of Szoboszlai, but somehow came away with the ball. So it's still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge, but could that put some life in Chelsea?
Thank you very much, Billy. We'll be back across to Billy in just a few moments' time, keeping ahead of all the action as it unfolds in what has been an exhilarating game between Chelsea and Liverpool. Those 4 goals in the first half, 2 of them narrowly ruled out, but correctly ruled out by VAR. It could have been 2-2. It is 1-1, and you just do not want to take your eyes off of what has been an exceptionally good match between those two. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0. I think that's the last 3, wasn't it? Well, they've more than made up for it today, because this has been anything but a 0-0. They've really entertained us this afternoon, Chelsea and Liverpool, and there's still plenty of drama to unfold in that particular game. Let's go back to Billy, shall we? Chance at the other end now for Chelsea, I understand.
Yeah, chance at the other end for Chelsea, and it's that exact same thing we saw. It's the wing-backs for Chelsea causing all sorts of problems. It's Reece James causing issues with the width, finding Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling probably had his best game in a Chelsea shirt, in my opinion. He's been fantastic this afternoon so far. He's found Enzo Fernandez in midfield. A lovely deft touch by Fernandez finds Ben Chilwell. With Trent Alexander-Arnold, is absolutely nowhere near him, but his first touch just lets him down. So he has to reset, and by the time he's reset, Alisson has come across to close the angle down and makes a good save. The resulting corner came to nothing. And Levi Colwill just flicking it over the head of Mohamed Salah. A few little theatrics from the Chelsea boy on his debut, but I did say, could it spark some life into Chelsea? It looks like it has. Are we going to see a similar pattern where Liverpool have the better opening 10 and then drop off? Let's see, but 56 minutes gone. It's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
Thank you very much, Billy. We'll be back with Billy after the break, which we're going to be returning to Yinka in the Brilla FM studios in just a minute or so. Quick reminder that the Women's World Cup has now progressed to the semi-finals. We know who the semi-final lineup will be in this season's Women's World Cup. Hosts Australia won a dramatic penalty shootout against France yesterday, and they will play England, who came from behind to beat Colombia. Ella Toone scoring the second half winner for the Lionesses. The other semi-final is going to be between Spain and Sweden on Tuesday. Sweden squeezing past the fancied Japan in the quarter-finals 2-1, whilst by the same score Spain beat the Netherlands in their last 8 tie. Australia against England is on Wednesday, 11 o'clock local time. In the second semi-final. Really looking forward to those two. Of course, we saw Nigeria losing on penalties to England last week. Fantastic game that was, and didn't the Nigerian girls do brilliantly? They were very, very unlucky not to win that game, in my opinion, and in the opinion of most English supporters. It was a really good performance by them. They're very unlucky, but England are dogged, and that might just be the recipe for success for them. We shall see. So that's the Women's World Cup final to come next weekend. But for now, we're going to hand you back to our colleagues at Brilla FM and to Yinka. Over to you, my good friend.
This is a commercial break exclusive to Nigeria and Africa alone. But don't worry, Football Live will be back very, very shortly.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
This is Football Live.
And you could not have scripted this.
It's crazy, absolutely insane.
Oh my dearie me. I don't want to laugh or cry.
It's a show that's packed to the brim.
Oh my word, what is going on here? An unbelievable day here on Football Live.
Means there's action everywhere you look.
Great entertainment.
That's fantastic. Wow, just wow.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Powered by NairaBet. With Barry Swain.
Yes, welcome back to the last half an hour of the show. We'll be back to Stamford Bridge in just a moment. Chelsea have a corner, still 1-1, nearly midway through that second half in West London. Still 1-1 and still all to play for. It's a really, really good game. This afternoon's been a great day for Premier League football. The champions of Austria, Salzburg, are 1-0 up on Austria Vienna, and they've had one goal disallowed. They've had another goal disallowed. Let's head back to Austria and Leon Jones to tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was a case of deja vu. Salzburg 2 against 1, round the keeper, passed it to the striker Karim Konate. He put it home, offside. 2 seconds later, 2-on-1 against the keeper, passed it to Karim Konate, round the keeper, and he's offside again. It could have been 2, it could have been 3. It's still 1-0 though.
Thank you very much, Leon. And still 1-0 there, but Salzburg look like they're on their way to their first 3 points of the season. It looks like they are going to be, once again, the team to beat in the Austrian Bundesliga. Deep into added time in that game. 98 minutes on the clock in that game. Let's head into Spain. Celta Vigo against Osasuna. The final whistle was gone. Let's catch up with a full-time report from Ash Sandiford.
Yeah, full time here between Celta Vigo and Osasuna, and a bad day for Rafa Benitez and his men taking on his first game in charge in La Liga for Celta Vigo. First goal coming from Osasuna with a great break down the left-hand side with a goal from Garcia. Great cross in. It's cannoned off the crossbar with a header from Gomez. And Garcia actually had an empty kind of tap-in just by diving headed the ball into the ground and into an empty net. And funny enough, in the second half, a very, very similar goal. Ball cannoning off the post again, and another goal, but this time from Moy Gomez, getting his goal for the game after 74 minutes. After that, Celta Vigo did try to huff and puff their way into the game by throwing on a couple of extra centre forwards, taking off the veteran striker too, but didn't manage to get himself a goal as well. So Rafa Benitez will be disappointed in this particular game today, and it's finished Celta Vigo 0, Osasuna 2.
Thank you very much for your updates this afternoon, Ash Sandiford. Great to have you on the show once again. Let's head back now to Stamford Bridge. Can't take your eyes off of it, Billy, but still 1-1, still ding-dong. Still wouldn't want to call this one, would you?
No, I would be a braver man than me to try and call this one. But it is all Chelsea. The last 10-15 minutes has been all Chelsea, and Mauricio Pochettino said it was his job to put a smile back on these fans' faces, and for the first time in what feels like a year, these Chelsea fans are behind their team. It feels like, from a Chelsea perspective, they've got a team that they can support again. And Liverpool are really struggling. In fact, Jurgen Klopp's brought on Darwin Núñez. He's brought on Curtis Jones, who, in the absence of Milner, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, is the most senior midfielder at Liverpool now. It beggars belief that they haven't brought in a replacement for either of those two holding midfielders, or an experienced head like James Milner. And Chelsea really are capitalising on it. They're capitalising with the full-backs. Reece James and Ben Chilwell have been fantastic. Raheem Sterling has had his best game for Chelsea, in my humble opinion. And Pochettino will be the happier of the two managers, but it's still 8 home games at Stamford Bridge without a win if this doesn't change. 7 in the Premier League and 1 against Real Madrid in the Champions League. The last one they won was against Leeds, and everyone beat Leeds last season. So there's signs of hope, there's signs of something new, as Trent Alexander-Arnold's booked for time wasting, trying to slow things down from a throw-in. He's not best pleased, but Anthony Taylor doles out the yellow for him. So 70, just coming up to 70 minutes, 68, 70 minutes. It's still Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
The goals, powered by NairaBet.
Well, in Austria, Salzburg scored, went 1-0 up, then they scored again, disallowed, scored again, disallowed, scored again! Well, we thought it was going to be disallowed, but in the end it was given, and the full-time whistle's gone. Let's head back to Leon Jones, who can update us with a full-time report.
Yeah, third time's the charm for Karim Kanate. The Ivorian, he looked brilliant today for Salzburg, and the game has finished here at the RB Arena. It's finished Salzburg 2, Austria Vienna 0, and it was a really dominant performance from Salzburg. They could have had at least 4 or 5 goals, and at the end they could have had 3 goals from Kanate alone. But he had 2 disallowed, and finally that third one he's put in, and it wasn't disallowed this time. Good goal for him. Good day all around for Salzburg. They take the 3 points, and it's a great start to their campaign.
Thank you very much for your updates throughout the afternoon. That's Football Live's Leon Jones there, covering the game between Salzburg and Austria Vienna, which went the way of the reigning champions. Let's head back to Stamford Bridge. We're just coming up to the 70-minute mark. Billy, you mentioned last time Chelsea dominating, and it was a kind of signal that Trent Alexander-Arnold received a yellow card for time wasted, and Chelsea continued to pile on the pressure.
Yeah, Liverpool enjoying a little bit of possession now, but honestly, the last 15 minutes, it's been all Chelsea, all just blue bodies flying forward. They're organised, they look well drilled compared to last season. Mohamed Salah's struggling. Cody Gakpo was non-existent in that midfield role. It's a wonder that he's lasted nearly 70 minutes. I don't know why Curtis Jones didn't start the game. It's a worry for Liverpool watching this, but obviously things can change. The transfer window's still open. Someone's going to get Caicedo. Someone's going to get Lavia. I'm not suggesting a player like that completely changes this, because I don't know. The issues they're having with width is staggering. But to end this trip from me on a bit of a positive note, 9 years ago today, Andy Robertson made his debut for Hull against QPR, of course under Steve Bruce. So, happy anniversary, Andy Robertson. But there's 20 minutes left to go, plus all that extra time. It's still anyone's game. It's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1.
Thank you very much, Billy Andrews. 65% possession in the second half for Chelsea. That gives you an indication of just how good they've been. Salah is 9.0 to score the third goal from Nairabet, subject to change in that game at Stamford Bridge. But Chelsea have just come forward again, and another good chance which has gone to waste from Jackson. It was a really good save, in fact, by Alisson, and Billy can bring us up to date with that in a few moments' time. In the meantime, let's turn our attentions now to the other game that was played today in the Premier League. A 2-2 draw in the London derby between West London and North London. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2. All the goals coming in the first half. Bit of a ding-dong there, a bit of a pendulum swinging game. Good game it was too. We've had some good games, some good football this afternoon on Premier League Live, on Football Live in the Premier League, I should say. And let's hear what Ange Postecoglou, the Tottenham Hotspur manager, had to say about his debut.
Mixed feelings, I guess. Pleased with the effort of the players. I thought, considering the way that particular first half went, it would have been easy for us to sort of drop our heads, but I thought the players sort of, reacted to all the events really well. Probably thought in the second half we controlled the game well, but just didn't create as much as we could have, I think. But ultimately, it's all you can ask the players. They gave their all, and hopefully that gives us a little bit of a foundation moving forward.
That was Ange Postecoglou after the 2-2 draw between Brentford and Tottenham Hotspur at the G-Tech Community Stadium earlier on this afternoon. Score draw in London there. Score draw in London is looking on the cards. But, Billy Andrews, there was a good chance for Chelsea just a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, it's that man on his debut again, Nicholas Jackson. It was poor from Mohamed Salah, actually. A poor, lazy pass intercepted by Colwill. His fantastic pass found Nicholas Jackson, who had the beating of Konate for pace to begin with, but just took him out wide. And again, I mentioned it earlier, Chelsea had the second lowest shot conversion rate in the Premier League last season. And with chances like that, you have to test the goalkeeper more, because by the time he got his shot away, Alisson was about a yard away from him. Incidentally, with Nairabet, he is 8.50 to score next, or to score the third goal. Of course, that is subject to change, but the way Chelsea are playing, the way that the width of this game, Sterling and Reece James have the freedom of the City of London on the right-hand side. They really are struggling. Sterling not happy. They're thinking he should have a corner, but it's been given as a goal kick. But he's been fantastic today. Chelsea have been a really good watch, and one shining light for Liverpool. Haven't seen much of McAllister, but Szoboszlai has been incredibly bright when he's had chances on the ball. So there are positives for both sides if this does end 1-0, but I'm going to put my neck on the line and say Chelsea probably should just edge this one. But with just over 17 minutes to go, it's still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Billy Andrews. We'll be back across to him in just a few moments' time as Chelsea continue to pile on the pressure at Stamford Bridge, looking for a winner in what is nearly the last 15 minutes of the game. Still plenty of action to be played there. There's likely to be enough added time at the end of the 90 to mean that the final whistle won't blow until we've handed back to our colleagues at Brilla FM, where you will get confirmation of the full-time score, I am sure. There's a little bit of an injury concern at the moment for Chelsea and for Reece James, who's pulled up, and it does look like there's some activity on the Chelsea bench. This is a concern. This is a player that's had more than his fair share of injury concern, of course. And it does look as if we're going to see the new Chelsea captain being taken off potentially, but we'll wait and see on that one. But he's pulled up, and indeed he is coming off. The England international, his sister, of course, plays for England, was sent off against Nigeria last week in the World Cup for stamping. He's handed over the captain's armband to Ben Chilwell, and he's running off and applauding the fans. So the fact that he's running suggests that it's not a serious injury, but it's just jarred something, and Gusto is on, and we'll catch up with Billy Andrews. In fact, we'll go to Billy right now. And Billy, every time he pulls up, you have to feel, oh no, not again, with Reece James, because he's got that terrible injury track record, hasn't he?
He's got an awful track record with injury, particularly, muscular injuries, and it looks like that's what this is. He hasn't gone down, which is a positive. He's run off the pitch, which again is a positive, but it's happened again and again and again with Reece James. And I know he's been at Chelsea since he was 6. I know he's one of the Cobham boys. He's been through the age ranges. He's seen everything happen at Chelsea. He's won with Chelsea. He's lost with Chelsea. But it's a bizarre choice for captain. Given his injury record, he could spend most of this season not on the pitch as captain. So it just struck me as a bit of a weird one. Of course, we are going to see a Chelsea debut now for Malo Gutso. And we are going to see Harvey Elliott coming on for Mohamed Salah. And we are going to see a Premier League debut for the young man for Liverpool, number 50, Ben Doak, coming on for Luis Diaz. It's not been a fantastic hour, I'd say, for Mohamed Salah since his offside goal. He's been largely invisible in this game, but that could be said about a lot of Liverpool players. He's not happy. He's ripping his tape off and throwing it. He's ignored Caoimhe Kelleher's hand for a handshake. He's not happy at all with any of the coaching staff, not happy with Jurgen Klopp. He does want to play every minute of every game. But Harvey Elliott, we do know what he can do. He is a fantastic young player. And let's see what young Ben Doak can do for Liverpool in this last 15 minutes. But it's a sad sight to see Reece James go off for Chelsea. Just under 15 minutes to go. 1-0 at Stamford Bridge.
Let's hope it's not a serious injury. And you're absolutely right there, what you said, Billy. He came off there, Mo Salah. And when he left the field, he was not a happy man. And he stomped past his manager Jurgen Klopp, who I don't think even acknowledged him, and I think that was what frustrated him, that Klopp didn't even acknowledge him. But there's certainly, that's food for thought. People are going to read into that and say, is that relationship all well and good? Because Liverpool, for half an hour of this game, when they were 1-0 up and they had those chances to extend their lead, they had one disallowed, they hit the bar. They were great then, but then it suddenly flipped on its head, this game, and since then they've been pretty poor. And I can't help but think there's something not quite right there between Klopp and Salah, and I don't think I'm going to be the only person in the broadcast and journalism industry that's going to flag that up after what we've just seen.
No, definitely not. And of course, we know the amount of money that's being thrown around by clubs in Saudi Arabia. I'm not suggesting by any means that he's going to leave Liverpool. There is some murmurings of a new deal, but he's just a highly competitive player who expects so much of himself. I think not necessarily annoyed with Klopp, I think he's annoyed at himself for not being able to affect the game as much as he usually can. You know, we've seen him affect games instantly. You know, with a click of his fingers, he can turn a game around, and it's just not happened for him for the last hour or so. So, look, he'll probably score a hat-trick next weekend, and he'll give Jurgen Klopp the biggest hug at full time, and we'll think, oh, well, that was just a silly little spat at Stamford Bridge.
Well, they're playing at home to Bournemouth, Billy. There's every chance of that happening, I suppose you could say, after last year's 9-0.
Well, exactly, there's every chance. And a couple more changes coming up for Chelsea. We are going to see Mykhailo Mudryk coming on. And I do believe we're going to have another debut for Chelsea. We're going to see Ian Maatsen come on for the Blues. So Mykhailo Mudryk and Ian Maatsen coming on for Chelsea. I will let you know who comes off for those. But just over 11 minutes to go at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea in possession yet again. 1-1 at Stamford Bridge.
Yep, it's all Chelsea at the moment, and certainly the reactions of Mo Salah will be catching a few people's attention. And just wondering, you know, we saw last year the Sadio Mane departure, and they've never really been the same since, have they, Liverpool? Poor season last season, even by Mo Salah's standards, and now he's stomped off. Not a happy man. Maybe another for the Saudi League, who knows? We shall wait and see. 10 minutes to go in that game, and it remains 1-1, and Chelsea bringing on another couple of changes. Mudryk is going to come on, and Chukwuemeka is coming off, but we'll catch up with Billy for some updates on that very, very shortly here on Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live, live and exclusive on Brila FM.
With the clock running down, Chelsea now 4.2 with Naira Bet, subject to change of course. 1.62 for the draw, and we're into the last 9 minutes. Liverpool 5.5 with Naira Bet, subject to change. That is how things are. We'll be back with Billy Andrews in just a second. In fact, let's go back to Billy now, because Mudryk is on. A couple of changes for Chelsea, Billy.
Yeah, a couple of changes. It's Carney Chukwuemeka and Raheem Sterling, my man of the match, coming off to be replaced by Ian Maatsen and Mykhailo Mudryk. Mudryk, of course, had a stuttering second half of last season. He only joined in January. But he's got the chance now to show everyone what he did for Shakhtar, what he believes he's capable of, what we've not really seen in the Premier League. But this new formation that Mauricio Pochettino's playing, it's like almost like a narrow three with what now will be Maatsen, Mudryk and Nicholas Jackson, with the wing backs bombing forward. So it's really quite struggled to have the effect that Reece James had before he went off injured. And over 2.5 goals on Naira is 2.25 subject to change. So if you're a betting man and fancy a bet on a winner, that's the one to take. But at the moment, I think Mauricio Pochettino would be happy with a draw, not thrilled. But after the start and how good Liverpool were in the opening 20 minutes, I think a draw would be satisfactory, but it's something to definitely build on. There's positive signs for Chelsea. And Darwin Nunez kicking at air there. So Chelsea on the attack again, but just under 10 minutes, still 1-1.
Thank you very much, Billy. Back with Billy very shortly. Tomorrow night, Manchester United take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Their new signing, Rasmus Højlund, likely to be unfit for that game, but nevertheless, we caught up with him.
It's a big pleasure to be here, and I'm very happy to be a Manchester United player. Yeah, very, very happy now. Everything is done. I can officially call myself Manchester United player. So I'm part of the team now. I'm looking forward to be playing on the pitch with the other guys. And yeah, of course, I was very into Premier League football and everything around it. So I just kept watching, and of course, Cristiano is my idol, and he was playing there back then. And yeah, I just kept following him and also following Manchester United.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Rasmus Højlund brings to Manchester United, and they get their season underway against the Wolverhampton Wanderers side tomorrow night, who of course parted company with their manager just last week, and now it's Gary O'Neill, the former Bournemouth manager, who surprisingly sacked towards the back end of last season. He's given the responsibility to guide Wolves away from what many see as a season battling against relegation. Of course, yesterday Sheffield United lost at home to Crystal Palace. Luton lost 4-1 at Brighton and Hove Albion. Anyone guessing their bottom three at the moment would probably be saying Sheffield United, Luton and Wolves. Of course, it never works out quite like that, but that's who are the clear three to go down for many this season. Back to Stamford Bridge, Billy Andrews, Liverpool suddenly trying to show a burst of energy in the final third to get forward, and who knows, maybe even win this game.
Well, to show that burst of energy, they've got to get the ball off of Chelsea, which is proving a bit difficult at the moment. I mean, Darwin Núñez is running between Thiago Silva and Conor Gallagher like a headless chicken at the moment, trying to press and put pressure on them. I will say, on a positive note, Mykhailo Mudryk has looked very lively, good on the ball. Nice 1-2s with him and Ian Maatsen. And then when Liverpool do win it back, they hoof it long to nobody because everyone's in their own half. And Darwin Núñez, again, has to close down and run like a headless chicken. So it's a frustrating watch for a Liverpool fan, and that's going to be a yellow card for Liverpool. Trying to see who it was, but it's still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. Liverpool trying their hardest. Soboslai with a poor pass there, but 1-0 with 5 minutes to go plus added time. Yellow card for Konate.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM.
Calling all high flyers who fancies a free flight on us. Naira Vegas are making it rain with 1 million, yes, 1 million free flights on Aviator. Claim unlimited flights with no minimum stake. The sky's the limit. Every day it will randomly rain free flights through the chat feature. Simply place your bets on Aviator and watch it rain free flights in the chat. Make sure you board the plane. You wouldn't want to miss out on a maximum multiplier of times 250,000. Full terms and conditions apply. Must claim in the chat to be rewarded. Free flights for Aviator only. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Around the grounds, chasing the goals.
A goal that is going to blow open the title race in the Bundesliga.
Well, this wasn't supposed to happen. It's been an unbelievable day here on Football Live.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM.
You are listening to Football Live. Live and exclusive on Brila FM.
The Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga.
4 hours of football every Saturday and Sunday on Brila FM with Football Live.
You are listening to Football Live on Brila FM 88.9 and 101.1 FM.
Coming up next Saturday on Football Live with Josh Bailey. Join us live and exclusive from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock, including Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Premier League action. Football Live will be around the grounds chasing the goals. You are listening to Football Live, powered by NairaBet, with Barry Swain.
And welcome back to the dying embers of a 4-hour show here on Football Live. The Premier League has entertained us good and proper this afternoon as Chelsea prepared to make another change. Heading back to Billy Andrews. Chances at both ends, and we've seen an error from Sanchez. He was lucky to get away with it, but Liverpool have had a chance as well.
Yeah, lucky to get away with that one, Sanchez. It was just a hopeless pass for nobody, really. It fell to Alexis McAllister. McAllister fired it into Nunez. Nunez's touch just not good enough. And Sanchez, of course, it's never the goalkeeper's fault, is it, Barry? He was blaming Dizazi, he was blaming Thiago Silva, and Alexis McAllister has just been booked for diving. And if he's not careful, he could get another yellow card for constantly berating the referee. Van Dijk and Robertson have stepped in. Alisson's come all the way down to the halfway line to try and get the Argentinian away, but it's going to be Ben Chilwell that goes off. He's handed the captain's armband to Thiago Silva. He's been fantastic today, has Ben Chilwell. Again, another Chelsea fullback that suffered with injury, but he gets an embrace from Mauricio Pochettino. And it's Leslie Ugo-Chukwu, the young Frenchman who is eligible to play for Nigeria, who's come on for the last minute plus added time. So Liverpool with a free kick for a foul on Szoboszlai. McAllister booked for diving. It's all going on at Stamford Bridge, but it's still only 1-1.
Thank you very much, Billy. We'll be back with Billy before the end of the show. I think the final whistle's going to blow just as the show ends at past, because I can tell you there are 5 minutes of added time and there are 5 minutes left on the show. Elsewhere in Europe this afternoon, we heard earlier Salzburg got their title defence underway in Austria with a win against one of their main rivals, Austria Vienna, by 2-0. Standard Liège off to a good start in their game against Sporting this afternoon. They're leading by 1-0 at half time in that game. Elsewhere, Rennes 5, Metz 1, I can tell you, is a full-time score. Ibrahim Salah scoring deep into stoppage time to put the icing on the cake for Rennes, who have got off to a good start there, 5-1. Go back to Billy. Liverpool claiming a handball, and Zabrozlai was off the pitch. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, a rare foray forward in the second half for Liverpool. It was between Harvey Elliott and Dominic Szoboszlai. It was a fantastic tackle, actually, by Dizazi on Harvey Elliott, and Dominic Szoboszlai carried on his run and was off the pitch. He then came back on the pitch, whipped it in, it hit an arm. They were claiming Anthony Taylor said, "No, Dominic, you're off the pitch." So I don't know why it's taken them until added time to come back to life, but they have come to life. And Darwin Nunez has just gone close as well, inches wide. The effort was deflected, so we will have a corner in the dying embers for Liverpool. We'll see if they can make anything of it, but it's still 1-1, anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely anyone's game in our main match this afternoon. We'll head back to Billy in just a second. Just quickly recap on our featured matches this afternoon. Feyenoord 0, Fortuna Sittard 0, Brentford 2, Tottenham 2, Nantes 1, Toulouse 2, late winner there for Toulouse. Jopen 0, Club Brugge 5, big win there for Club Brugge. Real Havre beaten 10-man Chaves by 2-0. Celta Vigo lost at home on the opening day of the season. Rafa Benitez side losing 2-0 to Osasuna. Salzburg 2-0 winners over Austria Vienna, and it's currently Liverpool and Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, and there's around about 90 seconds of that match to run. Let's head back to Billy Andrews just quickly. I think it's been a funny old game, hasn't it? Seesaw, Liverpool, good start. Chelsea ended the half better. Chelsea been better second half, but Liverpool have just shown a few glimpses in the last 5 minutes or so that they are every chance as likely to nick this as Chelsea. I think we've worn poor old Billy out. He's not there at the moment. But anyway, listen, the man of the match has been named as Enzo Fernandez, and let's head back to Billy. It's been a seesaw afternoon. I was saying that both sides have had their moments, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And sorry, I just got very excited. There was a chance for Mykhailo Mudryk just towards the end there, but Alisson came rushing out and forced him wide, and his return ball wasn't good enough. Yeah, that corner came to nothing for Liverpool. And Enzo Fernandez, man of the match, is an interesting one. I think he's done. It's the curse of the central midfielder, I suppose. He's done all the basics, all the unsexy stuff, if you will, fantastically well today. Raheem Sterling was fantastic. Reece James, before his injury, was fantastic. Ben Chilwell was great. I think lots of positives for Chelsea going forward. Lots of positives for the season. Liverpool need that holding midfielder, and they need it badly. They need it now. And I think looking at this, Southampton and Brighton will just put the price up a little bit. But it looks like it's going to end here 1-1.
Thank you very much for those updates this afternoon, Billy. I'll let you know as soon as the final whistle blows. We've just hit the 95th minute and the final whistle has blown at Stamford Bridge. It's finished. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, and an absolutely fantastic game at Stamford Bridge on the opening weekend of the season. It's been a great opening weekend of the season. On Friday night, Manchester City 3-0 winners at Burnley. Arsenal won yesterday against Forest by 2-1. Bournemouth and West Ham 1-0. Brighton 4-1 winners against Luton. Fulham 1, Everton 1-0. Sheffield United also losing at home to Crystal Palace 1-0. Newcastle thrashing Aston Villa 5-1 today. Brentford 2, Tottenham 2, and that was a precursor to a very entertaining afternoon. It's finished Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. Thank you very much for your company. Thank you very much to John Kane, our producer. Thanks to all our reporters this afternoon. Back to you guys at Brilla FM. We'll see you on Football Live once again next weekend.
Today's show was produced by John Kane and powered by Hollandia Chivita and our official betting partner, NairaBet.